Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Drake on your radio at 1140 a.m.
Streaming audio at SacktownSports.com and the Sacktown Sports app.
You can also watch the show on YouTube at Sacktown Sports 1140. Here are the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Drake.
Jay Johnson in today for Kyle Draper, who is enjoying the Australian leg of his vacation. Saw on social media. So I have a question for you. If you can help us out with this, I'd really appreciate it. If you want to give us a call or you want to shoot us a text or comment on the YouTube chat, I'm really curious to know where people are on this. I'm curious to know whether you care about this story today. I'm not saying you should. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I don't know if people do, Jay. The story, of course, the LA Clippers and Steve Balmer looks like they're being accused of circumventing the NBA salary cap by paying $28 million to Kawhi Leonard for a no-show job.
Ooh, sound like college to me.
That's a nice gig. I know Chris Eddy, former TV host here, said that's every team that ever paid him. It was for a no-show job because he never plays. But that's obviously, if it's true, it's a clear circumvention of the salary cap rules. So it's like, oh, you can't do that.
Yep.
I don't know if other owners are going to crack down on that. I don't know how common it is. That type of thing used to be very common, right, Jay? I don't know if it still is, but, it's kind of like, yeah, oh, you can't do that. Teams would do that type of thing all the time. I just don't know if fans care. I know there's been some really funny jokes and, pictures of Kawhi Leonard on social media planting trees and things because the company that he works for is a tree service, $28 million a year to work for a tree service and not do anything. So, yeah, those are funny. I know people want to make jokes. But I don't know, Jay. Do you think basketball fans, what's your guess? Do you think they care? I have no idea, really.
I would say I say half. I think it's a 50-50 conundrum. I think you're going to have 50% of the masses who care and then 50% ho-hum who gives a damn type thing. So I think it's, there's a good proportion of people that I think care about.
The reason I ask is because I think there was a time when this might have been, as sports stories go, a big scandal.
Agreed.
What they did, what?
Yeah, agreed.
And now I think people are more like, yeah, this is what pro sports is.
Well, I think that's part of it. Last week or week before, whenever you weren't here, me, High Flyer, and Draper were having this conversation. And I can't remember who. I think it was Ralph Sampson or something. And we had so many people on that week. I can't remember. But there was someone that was talking about getting paid in college.
Yeah.
And, in reverse to, we knew quiet as kept gold envelopes were being dropped off in college for a long time. We knew athletes were making money. We knew under the table they were getting something. And I'm accredited to Ralph Sampson. And Ralph said, listen, everybody knew what was going on.
Yeah.
It was something that was, blatantly talked about, but at the same time, we all just looked the other way.
And now we have the NIL, so it's all done above board.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Or some of it is. Yeah.
Anything with big business, big money, there's always schemes and backdoors and tax breaks and other ways to get around it, right? So I'm just a firm believer. I don't care what nobody says. People go, so I'm walking a straight line or walking a right arrow. Yeah, but you're also learning how to manipulate the game. Yeah. And that's just the way the system. Yeah. I say the game mean the system. But with that being said, I think it's so as you said, it's 2025. And I use that as an example, if people were getting paid behind closed doors in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s and way before that anyway, how about we bring in the mob in Las Vegas and all that type of conversation where there's smoke, there's fire. I'm not saying it always happens, but I'm saying it has happened. And so to answer your question, I truly think if it was LeBron, be through the roof. If it was, Jason Tatum, it'd be through the roof. And as much as Kawhi Leonard is a star, I would venture to say he's never been a superstar because I don't think he wants to be a superstar. I think he's okay in the fact of, I'll make my money, win some games, be known as the glove, be known as one of the better defensive players to ever play the game. But in retrospect, when has Kawhi ever came out and said, look at me, I want to be this guy? And so I think it always matters who the victim and or who the assailant is. Those things matter. And I also believe because it's Kawhi Leonard, it is, as I said, 50% basketball people, NBA circles, folks who want to cry about him winning championships, people who were like, oh, well, if we could have got him, but instead of him going to the Clippers, because remember, he was wooed by many teams. Him and his uncle were wooed by many teams to try to come that way before he went to the Clippers, leaving Toronto. I truly believe if we were talking about a more prominent name, not as far as basketball, but as far as culture, there you go, socially influencing those type of things, then yes, it'd be a huge scandal.
Well, what the league may or may not do is interesting. I'm sure we'll be talking about that, but you reminded me of a story real quick. There was a guy who played in the 80s, and he told me once that he got paid more in college than he got in the NBA, but somebody who was with the team that he played for in the NBA told me, nah, I know how much he was making in college, and he made more in the NBA. So it's funny, wasn't that? No, he didn't make money there. It was like, oh, yeah, but he actually made more money in the NBA. So, yeah, that happened all the time. On the text line
tell
here.
Me who that is after the break.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. 209 says, we all should have been suspicious of Kawhi when he decided to go to the Clippers. Who actually wants to play for the Clippers? But then the question there on top of the joke. Yeah, people like jokes.
Of course.
Hard not to joke about this. Do you think this hurts small market teams?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's where the rubber's going to hit the road as far as the NBA goes. The NBA, it's pretty obvious to me. The NBA would just as soon not deal with this at all. In fact, they didn't even come out with anything until Shams asked them, and they said, we're aware of the allegations and we're looking into it.
Right.
They're not going to do anything because of what Pablo Tori did, which was very good reporting. Don't get me wrong, but the NBA doesn't want to have to deal with it. So what would compel the NBA to deal with it? Reactions from fans, for one thing, but more importantly, other owners. If the other owners are like, hey, he can't do that, because other owners already, Steve Balmer is one of the big reasons why they made the adjustments they made to the CBA, making it more punitive to teams that spend all the money. So if other owners, if a majority of them are up in arms over this, yes, the league may do something. Who knows? And, we're getting way ahead of it here. The league may end up going, yeah, it's no big deal. But they may end up voiding the contract, Jay.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Because it's almost kind of like, we've seen this happen. Reggie Bush getting the Heisman wiped out. Well, it doesn't really matter. We know he won the Heisman. What, you took his trophy? Mm-hmm. Now, of course, he's gotten it back after years of, litigation and obviously now, like you said, NIL being a part of the college football game legally. But in retrospect, what are you, even if you null and void the contract, so what does that mean? He owes the money back?
No, it would mean that nobody's
free agent.
Contract is whoop. Yeah.
Yeah. So who cares? Because he's already gotten paid. He is getting paid. He's already played for the Clippers for multiple years.
Well, who cares? He would be going to maybe the Lakers or something.
Yeah, I think, and at this point, and that's why I say I think it depends on who we're talking about. If this was a LeBron, a Kobe, those type of athletes, those type of superstars, a Steph Curry, a Draymond, like you have to be a villain or you'd have to be a mega star.
Mm-hmm.
Anything in between, I think proof has kind of been in the pudding. Look at Jonte Porter. Like we know he single-handedly tried to flip some games, cheated, bet, all those things. That's swept under the rug. Let that had been Steph Curry. We'd be talking about it today.
Yeah, but Kawhi Leonard's not Jonte Porter.
Yeah, but I understand that. But I'm also saying this. They haven't won anything for the Clippers. If he is a free agent, I think most people look at him and say, well, you're probably at the tail end of your career. Third part of it is you're not even playing, my guy. And I think that's part of it. You saw the whole rant that Stephen A went on. He's like, man, this doesn't even really matter. Now, Kawhi played last year for an extended period of time, but I think he hasn't been a cog in the NBA piece that has determined champions or anything else over the last few years. I'm just saying this. You asked me, do I think people care? I started with saying I think there is 50-50. I think NBA people, sports people who are locked in, people who are, good sportsmanship, conduct type cats, yeah, they're going to cry about it. And then I think you got someone who's like, man, I don't really give a damn. It ain't my money. Kawhi was going to get paid anyway. He was going anywhere. And it didn't change the narrative of anything minus, they beat somebody in a series, but they didn't compete for a championship. They didn't win anything. Now, if we were talking about championships, if we were talking about the Emirates Cup, if we were talking about, things that have moved the tradition of the game, like if he beat a record, something like that, then yeah, I'd probably say that.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Jerry's been hanging on. Hey, Jerry, you're on with the Drive Guys. What's going on?
Hey, I got a question for you. How would you think about this if it goes back to 2002? Not only was there cheating by the refs, but, we find out Fisher, Shaq, or Kobe got $20 million off the books.
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't even have been playing. It doesn't matter who they are. What matters is there's rules for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we have to follow them? But because there's athletes or superstars are rich, they don't have to follow anything.
Well, thank you, Jerry.
He should be suspended for the year, and Balmer should be up the creek.
All right. Thank you. Yeah. Gotcha. Thank you. The league will have to decide something, whether, they'll have their own investigation. They've already said we have our own investigation. The league's not going to say we're going to take Pablo at his word.
No,
we'll look into it.
Of course not.
And they've already, as you may know, the league has already looked into Kawhi's agent in the past.
Yeah.
For this type of thing. So if they find
extras and incentives,
evidence of wrongdoing, then I think some fans would care. It's like, yeah, whatever, that happens all the time. But the Clippers are going to be stripped of draft picks, or Kawhi Leonard's a free agent. If anything like that happens, then fans are going to be, ooh, okay, now I'm interested because I want to see if he goes to my team. And Jay, all the guys that love to be in LA, when they can't be in LA, where do they want to be? That's close to LA, Jay. Where do they want to be?
Golden State.
Where? No.
Well, I don't know, because I don't know where else we're talking about here, Sam.
How come we got
DeMar DeRozan?
Yes, maybe Westbrook coming here, Zach LaVine. This is where the LA guys go if they can't go to LA, Jay.
Hey, well,
we're in the running for Kawhi Leonard.
You talk yourself into that nonsense. I'm not.
It's happening, King Nation. Book it.
I'm not even going to entertain that.
When you got Kawhi Leonard.
I'm not even going to entertain that today, because let me tell you, the way things, clutch points, the Brett Siegels, Allen Styles, the way they work around here, sometimes you say something like that, man, and it's all she wrote.
Mm-hmm.
And when we talk about Kawhi coming here because there's a big scandal.
Oh, yeah. Sacramento radio host, Kawhi is as good as a king. Yeah.
He's locked in. I think when at the bare minimum, and I'll say this, I've talked about, try to argue it a little bit. I truly think it will be a slap on the wrist, and I think it will be swept under the rug to a certain extent. I've always said this. I've been blessed to be an athlete, college athlete, so on and so forth. I've seen it. We all know it happens, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so
I know Dave talked about it a lot today. Like, this is a tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could only imagine some of the things that these players are getting behind closed doors and really right in front of us. But as you said, I think the typical fan is like, oh, well, they're making money. They're figuring it out.
Yeah.
But also, as I said, that's why I said it's a 50-50 situation. I think we're going to have an uproar of the Jerrys. Shouts out to Jerry calling the show,
thanks,
starting
Jerry.
it off.
Yeah.
Like, Jerry is starting to look at it. Well, how about if Kawhi got this money, what about in 20? Well, he said 2002, which I don't want to bring that up, but man. But you get what I'm saying. What about 2015? And how did LeBron become a Heat? Then why did LeBron go to the Lakers? Why did Steph Curry?
Jerry said the Kings lost in 2002 because the refs were crooked and because Kobe and Shaq circumvented the cap with illicit dealings.
Yeah. I'm not touching that today either. But I think there's going to be 50-50. You're going to have some people like, listen, man, they cheated. They need to get disciplined. And then you're going to have some other people like, well, it happens.
Mm-hmm.
And until, something further, or the NBA comes out and says, well, you know what, you're losing 2 number 1 draft picks and Kawhi's a free agent, then I think it'll matter to the other half as well.
Mm-hmm. Somebody points out here, where was it? Logical Raptors fanatic, who's a steady and solid contributor these days. Thank you, LRF. Says owners can be suspended.
Yes.
The pro sports leagues It's been, my opinion, watching this for years and years and years and years and years. When it comes to a league deciding to suspend somebody, a lot of times the severity of the suspension or the punishment is based on what does everyone want us to do. If fans are in an uproar
reaction,
and you've got a chance that you're going to lose some sponsorships, if sponsors like, oh, that's a terrible look, then the league's like, oh yes, we will crack down.
Timex is out because you're not going to cheat on our watch.
Yes.
Then all of a sudden,
Balmer, we're going to strip the franchise from you.
Yeah.
But if they can get away with not doing anything, typically they will. Because one of the things that's bad about the suspensions and punishments, it just draws negative attention to them. It's bad PR.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's necessary. This guy was suspended for that. But sometimes you can tell the leagues are kind of like, they're just trying to gauge. That's where I think they are in this. How serious is this? How do the fans really feel about this? And also,
before we go hard,
how do the other owners feel about it? Are the other owners willing to look the other way? Or are the other owners going to be, this is terrible. This is just what we don't need. In which case, the commissioner will be compelled to take action.
Yeah, be
significant
proactive.
Action.
Yeah, proactive.
And Kawhi Leonard will end up in Sacramento.
Somebody from the 916, cheating is cheating. Just because they didn't win a title doesn't mean that isn't wrong. I don't disagree with you.
Yeah, that's not what Jay was saying. He was just saying it won't attract as much attention.
Right.
Yeah.
And because the question that was given to me was, how many people will care about this situation?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just talking it out. I just think there's going to be a mass, group of people that are going to say, ho hum. And then you'll probably see a nice size of people who's 916, cheating is cheating. And I feel slighted. Because then you start to do what? You look into the mirror and say, well, man, maybe we had a shot. Maybe if Kawhi goes there, the movement of James Harden goes there, and then maybe we get, Norm Powell. I don't know. But I can understand how people begin to think like that. And as we talked about a little earlier, somebody said this hurts small market teams. Maybe. You might be right.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll say this, though, and I've been a huge proponent of it, and I'm not saying I'm a proponent of cheating, so don't take this the wrong way. But haven't I been the person who've always said, that stuff is BS about caps and all that other stuff. If somebody wants to get somebody, you'll figure it out, man.
Yeah.
I don't know, Whitey. I've seen it. It was my own two eyes, champ. I ain't saying cheating is right. Cheating is cool. I'm just saying I've seen it with my own two eyes.
Yeah, but if you get caught, you can't do it in theory. You just have to spend the money. Well, in this case, we'll see if that holds up. But yeah, back to the 209's point, and you just raised it, Jay. Is this bad for small market teams? Absolutely. If you're a small market team, it's hard enough for me to sign these guys. They're not interested. But then if the big markets are not only going to have all this money and the big markets to offer, and then on top of that, here's a little extra something for doing nothing, circumventing the rules, then yes, it's terrible for small market teams.
HT was talking about a story about, some of his teammates and things like that. I've said this, and I'm not going to say any of the players, but I've played with people, especially in college, where, you pull up, and you talk to the athletic counselor, and the athletic counselor says, we got your on campus job. All right, cool. No problem. Now, mind you, at that time when I was going to school, you really couldn't make any more money if you were on a athletic scholarship, depending on what percentage scholarship you were on. Basketball guys, football guys were more or less on full rides. So if you're on full rides, they would already give you a stipend for the month. And then that gave you very little cushion, Whitey, for you to go out and get a part-time job, to make a little extra funds. You pretty much have to live on your parents or whatever the case may be. Hence the conversation of gold envelopes. But I say this, there are numerous athletes that have fictitious jobs. And you'd be like, where you work at? Oh, yeah, man. I'm a counselor over at the local YMCA. I'm like, oh, for real? Dude, I ain't never seen you leave the dorm or the apartments at the time between 1 and 4 p.m. What time you supposed to be over there? Oh, man, they got me locked in at 12:30 and I get off at 3. Really? I'm just saying, it's been going on for a long time, and we all know that. And so that's why, again, going back to the original question, I'm not sure it's going to be a huge scandal because I think most people believe it's already happening.
The last time we had anything like this was back in 2000, and it involved a guy who recently was on our show, Jay.
Yeah.
Joe Smith.
Joe Smith, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that was Commissioner David Stern.
Timberwolves, right?
Yes. The Timberwolves' illegal deals with Joe Smith came to light in 2000, and then Commissioner David Stern brought the hammer down. Stern fined Glenn Taylor and the Wolves $3.5 million, voided Smith's contracts, stripped the team of its next 5 first-round picks. 2 were eventually returned, and he essentially suspended Taylor and general manager Kevin McHale for a year. So,
and I saw a friend of the show, Keith Smith, say the precedent had been set in 2000, but as of lately, the last 5-10 years, teams that have overstepped their boundaries when it comes to signing free agents and players, all they've really received are second round picks getting snatched. So I don't know, Whitey. I truly don't understand, and I don't know. I think, people like us, we care because it's in the sports world. I guess the non-traditional sports fan, like if this hits TMZ, this comes across the Shade Room or something of that nature, does it really blow up?
I think it blows up, and maybe there's different degrees of blowing up.
Yep.
But if the league voids the contract, the other stuff, what are you going to do? You're going to fine Steve Balmer?
Fine him.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Yeah. Right?
Okay. Are you going to strip them of draft picks? Okay.
Right.
Then you end up kind of, well, they should do that, but I think people are going to want that. Like, yeah, they should be punished. But if Kawhi's contract is voided and all of a sudden Kawhi Leonard's a free agent, I think there's going to be a lot of interest in that. I think there's going to be a ton of interest.
But is that part of the story, or is that just the aftermath?
Well, it's related. I mean, he wouldn't, if he becomes a free agent, he wouldn't have, obviously, if he weren't for this. And then, there's going to be some questions for him, well, wait a minute, he was complicit in this. I don't know, will this in any way reflect poorly on him? Some have already suggested that. To me, I don't really care. If his agent says, we're going to do this. Okay. I got you $28 million for doing nothing. All right. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
Where do I sign?
Matter of fact, what tree now? I can name them. Yeah.
Maybe they didn't even tell him it's a tree thing,
Probably
just like,
did.
hey, I got you $28 million. You're good. You don't have to do anything. Is that all right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Plus, if you do that, you can go to LA and get all the money you want. You good with that?
Yeah.
Sure.
No problem.
Sure.
Close to SD, San Diego, right? Where's he from?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, Whitey. I think it's going to be, first of all, and I'll lean on this. If it was it's crazy because Kawhi Leonard is a big name amongst basketball fans. But truly and honestly, is Kawhi Leonard a star? Like, if he is can he cross over?
He's a star.
You think so?
He's a superstar.
You think he walks over to the U.S. Open tennis right now and he conducts a crowd?
He would certainly draw attention, but I'm talking more in different terms than you are, which I understand. That's the difference. You're talking about his draw, his charisma,
you're talking about culture,
Q factor, and I'm just talking about what he could mean to a basketball team. Remember that shot he made to beat the Kings? One of the most frustrating and demoralizing losses of the year.
Yeah, see,
he's still got some game left.
But I think that's the point I'm making is you're talking from a basketball standpoint of what he could do, what he could help somebody, an organization, a team in the league, where I'm talking about a grander scale of things. And I think that's where Kawhi Leonard doesn't hold the weight. And that's my point. I truly believe.
But I think there will still be interest.
Oh, well, up through the NBA? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I guess I must have misinterpreted your question in the beginning then. Because if we're talking about how much weight does this carry through the NBA, then yeah, it's huge. Mm-hmm. Because then it's going to determine where he could be, as you said, where he might sign, the past, the future, history, all of those things. But if we're talking about on a grand scale, and I always say this, for you to be a superstar, my mama need to know who you are. My mama don't know who Kawhi Leonard is.
I understand that.
So no one cares in the bigger picture.
But I understand your point. But to me, that's not what makes you a superstar. By the way, he played
a lot of games last year.
37.
Yeah, he played a lot of games last year.
Yeah, that's not that many. The last 3 years.
For him?
Did not play in 22, and then the last 3, 52, 68, and last year, 37, but he still averaged 21 and a half, and he had 6 rebounds and 3 assists. So
is he close to being done?
He's got to be.
He's got to be, yeah.
You know, he's just got to be. It's more like he's kind of more a part-time player now. You get him well, just make sure you do whatever you can to keep him warm and ready for the postseason. Have him play a few games after the first of the year, get him ready, and then you just want to make sure he's ready for the postseason. That's a tough way to build, camaraderie and cohesion. So thank you. I was just curious how people were going to feel about this. I get the sense that a lot of people are not sure, and I just feel like it hasn't really hit yet too, Jay. We have to wait and see how the league responds. That will dictate, I think, to a large degree, how people react. It's like, well, what does it mean for the league? How are they going to react? So
yeah, very true. Mm-hmm. Real quick, I got to give somebody a shout out. 209 is not shout out, but one thing we're not going to do, we're going to duck no smoke. 209, hey Jay, how does it feel to get smacked? Ohio State 2 years in a row, go Bucks. I got you big time. Ain't nothing I could talk about. We ran out there and got drilled. It wasn't like y'all embarrassed us, but y'all got the W. So
None you can
love
say.
to you. Absolutely. You got to take it on the chin, brother. Hence why I said I'm not running from it. I seen it. I'm going to make sure we throw it out there. That he or she knows that I'm aware of it because I'm not running from it. We'll see you at the end of the season. How about that?
Speaking of football, Jay, we got the 49ers season kicking off this weekend. Are the 49ers in trouble? Just a little bit. Tell you who says they are and why when we come back. Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports.
The Alan Styles Show.
The Athletics taking on Minnesota. All I know is that the state fair in Minnesota was so big. All I know is I saw fried butter. Has anybody ever had fried butter?
You've had fried Oreos and Twinkies. That's crazy.
Different. No, that's not different. And it was a Snickers.
That's still crazier than just butter.
No, it's not.
You can listen to the Alan Styles Show Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on 1140 a.m., YouTube, and the Sacktown Sports app.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
With Progressive, it's easy to reach customer service with our app, website, chat, or by phone. Because when getting help is hard, it's not help at all.
Little help. A little help over here.
Thank you for calling Bench Press Assistance.
What?
Due to excessive gym volume, all available spotters are currently lifting heavy weights off the chests of other bench pressers.
Seriously?
Please continue to hold, and we will remove the barbell from your chest in the order in which your cry for help was received.
Getting assistance should be easy. With Progressive, it is. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Bring the whole family to Sutter Health Park for Sacramento River Cats baseball. It's more than a game. It's an experience your kids will never forget. Enjoy exciting action on the field, delicious ballpark food, and fun activities for all ages. From meeting Dinger the mascot to running the bases every Sunday, there is something for everyone. Create lasting memories with your family this season. Get your tickets at rivercats.com.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Mom, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotion. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. Consequently, they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Dial pound 250 and say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk, everything you need and nothing you don't.
For over 90 years, Hagen Oaks has partnered with the biggest brands in golf to bring cutting-edge technology to your game. Our one-of-a-kind total game fitting offers a level of experience and precision that is unmatched. From driver to putter, footwear to golf balls, our TrackMan-powered performance studios, 3D footwear scanner, and Ping's Ballnamic ball fitting kiosk ensure every piece of your gear is tailored to your swing. Trust the experts at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Total game fitting starts here.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Locash, Vincent Mason, and Avriana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with RVs of Sacramento and the Smud Museum of Science and Curiosity. Tickets at CITPFest.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options, heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's Trex.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Everybody knows that Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is the spot to get yourself a brand new car. That's why people are coming from all over. Folsom, Elk Grove, Woodland, Roseville, but they also have the best selection of pre-owned vehicles. All makes and models, every one of them top quality, hand-selected by General Manager Chuck Dean. Over 70 vehicles below $30,000, over 25 below $20,000. You can see that full lineup at SacSuperstore.com. And if you find a lower price somewhere else, they'll match it. And on top of that, the best car buying experience anywhere. Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/SacktownSports1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Waddy Gleason, Jay Johnson today. Want to circle back to something I mentioned yesterday because I don't want people to think I'm crazy. Yesterday I mentioned, hey, we had something like a tornado in the Carmichael area, and we had 70-mile-an-hour winds, and it was just one little strip like Carmichael and it was from ARC out to like the cemetery and Greenback, and it was something called, the National Weather Service says it was something called a downburst, and it's excess energy from a thunderstorm or something, and for some reason it goes straight down and then hits the ground, and so all of a sudden for like 5 minutes in that area, just that strip, it was like hurricane or tornado, I should say, force winds, and there were some trees that were uprooted. It was amazing, Jay. So I just wanted to clarify because I mentioned yesterday, I was in a tornado. It was tornado-like, but the National Weather Service says, no, it's very much like a tornado, but it was a downburst. So that's what it was, and it was big time.
Don't doubt you, brother. You were there.
Mother Nature.
As they say, it's your story, brother, so we let you tell it.
Yeah. But I came to work, and there's only a couple people that were in it. And if you weren't like where you were, it's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Sunny and hot. Yeah, absolutely, man. Glad the Gleason household is up and rising, brother.
Yeah. It was just some debris, but some people had some serious issues with trees, and somebody's boat in the trailer in the driveway flipped over, Jay.
Oh, man. Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So it was serious.
Man, what happened? Weather is crazy.
Yes.
Mother Nature is a one of a kind, man.
Mm-hmm. She's been angry lately.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah. Here we go, Jay. We got the NFL season kicking off this weekend. Well, tomorrow night, right? Tomorrow night, truncated show for the Drive Guys.
And I'm not talking about that little week game Lamar not playing. Yeah. Tomorrow night.
Technically, that's when the season starts.
It does.
Mm-hmm. The Cowboys clearly should be flexed out of the Thursday night game. It's never been
already
done. Yes, there's no question. That's why you have it.
Oh, man.
Probably too late to do it now, but it should have been done. Cowboys should have been flexed out the minute they traded Micah Parsons. Here I have another poll from NFL executives. This is, let's see here, 8 NFL executives with their expectations for the 16 teams in the National Football Conference, Jay. 8 executives. Here's how they rank them. 1, Philadelphia. 2, Green Bay. 3, Detroit. 4, Tampa Bay. 5, the Rams. 6, Washington. 7, you got to be top 7 to make the playoffs, right? 7, San Francisco. Then after that, it goes Minnesota, Seattle, Arizona, Atlanta, Chicago, Dallas, Giants, Carolina, New Orleans. Interestingly, here are the comments on the 49ers. Again, we don't know which one said this, which executive said this, but what do you think of this? One executive said, quote, I think San Francisco is in trouble just a little bit. Their receivers aren't as good. Their O-line is average. I'm not all in on Brock Purdy as a $53 million quarterback. Maybe their defense saves them, end quote. First of all, would you just have a backbone? You know, everything is, I think they're in trouble a little bit. I don't know. Receivers aren't as good. Just give us an opinion, right, Jay?
That's kind of like that Kevin 7 where you put 7 teams, and just in case, you can say, well, you know, they were on my list there, brother. No, it's interesting because I agree a lot with that list. I think it's pretty close to being spot on, especially on paper, 1 through 7. And then the second part of it is I really don't know, as much as I'm a Niner fan, I'm going to keep it a buck here. I'm not really sold on what the 49ers are going to do this year either. And so I can kind of see that person, that executive, teeter-tottering. I do think they'll make the playoffs, but after that, I don't really know what else they're going to do.
Here's a voter that said the 49ers would finish 6th, said their troubles were relative to past success.
Okay.
And this voter thought they would be 10-7 or 9-8. Quote, I'm optimistic about them. I think they bounce back this year. They will be healthier. Obviously, they're not healthy at receiver, but I think we're going to have a bounce back year from Christian McCaffrey. I think Purdy will take another jump here. I think their defense will be really good. The addition of Salah is going to be good with Chris Kachurik as their line coach coming back, end quote. That's in the Athletic, and I think Mike Sando's the one that compiled that. So there's a guy that says, I'm optimistic about them. The funny thing is, if you read what Vic Tafer and Matt Barrows wrote today, both friends of the show, right, Jay?
Yes.
He says, don't look now. Both of them, they combined on this piece. They say, right now, the 49ers actually look kind of healthy.
First time I can ever remember.
Yeah, right now. It's incredible.
Yeah, it won't last, though.
Well, if you're going to be healthy, this is a good time to be healthy.
Yeah, start it out, baby, because we know the way that this team operates, and I'm not being a negative Nancy. I'm just being a realist. This team has a bunch of veterans, top line, top freight veterans, but they're not going to make it throughout the season. The key is you need Brock Purdy to make it through the season, and I think if you're really betting on one, probably most people would say give me CMC. And when I say that, I'm looking at the other two, which would be George Kittle and Trent Williams. I think Trent Williams, almost 40 years old, has pretty much said, like, I'm going to play 13, 14 games a season. I'm going to miss 3, 4, 5 of them. I think George Kittle, the way he plays, you know, he goes all out. I truly believe that because of that, he stays hurt here and there as well. He's banged up quite a bit. He's going to miss a game or two. I think if you really ask anybody and you really sit down and you look at a lot of the experts, everyone is saying they need CMC to make sure he has a bounce back year. Can't really bounce back from not playing, but he has to have a good year for the 49ers to do anything, to have any type of, as someone said, the success. They're haunted by their success. I think you need CMC. Now, of course, you need the other two, but I really think if you're looking at the hierarchy, it's Brock Purdy then CMC. The other ones, I'm expecting people to be hurt. So it's great.
That's not funny, but
it's true, though.
Yeah, I guess.
It's true.
You're ready for it.
Yes. It's the same conversation we've been having over the last half of a week. I am ready for Jake Moody to have a bad game or two. I'm also ready for the 49ers, greats, stars, all pros, to miss a game or two or 3 or 4 or maybe 5. That's part of who this, you know, the makeup of this team. Unfortunately, that's where we're at right now with the 49ers.
I apologize for mixing sports here, but 23, 24, 25, the NBA in the West, it was very tight, right? You'd have like 3 games separating 3rd from 9th, stuff like that. Especially in 23 and 24, as I recall. I think that's what it's going to be this year in the NFC. Now, the 49ers have a chance to win the division. Will they? They could. I don't know yet. We'll have to see them play. They could. But if they don't, and even if they do, but if it's close, I think we're all going to be spending a lot of time looking at, okay, well, they need this win because, the Vikings won or Tampa Bay's in there. And you're going to have just a bunch of teams, I think. Seattle, maybe even Arizona, maybe, as you said, Atlanta. I think there are going to be a lot of teams in the West on the fringe of or right in the thick of that race for one of the last few
8,
playoff
9,
spots.
9, and 8, 10, and 7.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm with you.
And I think that's fun in the sense that every game is so important, but it's going to be aggravating when, Moody misses a kick and they lose to Tampa Bay or something like that.
Get ready for it, brother.
You're expecting Moody to be erratic and the 49ers to be riddled by injury.
Absolutely. And I'm only saying this because this is what's going to happen.
Okay.
It's good. One of these things are going to happen, or both, probably. And you can probably sprinkle on a little more sugar on top of that. Someone else will probably miss the season. It's inevitable, especially with the 49ers.
Yeah.
And you are going to come in here and you're going to puff your chest out and you're going to say, come on, Moody, you got to have that kick. And I'm telling you, you're 100% right for doing that.
At this point, I'm going to say, come on, Shanahan. You had your chance.
There we go.
Missed it.
All right, there we go then. Then that may be something a little different.
Yeah.
And then then you're going to say, Jay, what did you think about Moody missing that extra point and causing the 49ers in the second quarter to get on top? And I'm going to say, Whitey, 2 weeks before the season, I said, this is going to happen.
Yep.
And I'm not going to sit up here and make it a big deal because just what you said, Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, they let us know they don't really give a damn.
Moody, the way he plays this year, it's kind of like a kick if Shanahan was a kicker. If Moody has a great year, then Shanahan's like right down the middle, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Like from 54, boom. But if not, it's going to be Shankosaurus. Miss the net to the left, blocked. And I wonder which way it's going to be.
So it sounds like you're coming over to the side of understanding that is going to happen. And like you said,
opportunity lost. You had a chance to fix it.
You did.
So now you have to be right.
You're 100% right. Yep. You're spot on, Whitey. And you are, I guess what I'm doing is I'm preparing myself for the letdown.
Yeah.
I'm just guarding myself, I guess. Because we all know
that's what
happen.
Kings fans do. 49er fans haven't traditionally had to do that.
Well, this is the thing. Traditionally, and as someone said, the success haunts them.
Yeah.
This team is not built and ready to go for a Super Bowl. I think they're built and ready for a playoff run. And I'll say it again for people who first time listening. I think when you get to the playoffs, all hands on deck. Every team, as much as like, you know what, man, the Vikings, they're not beating Dallas. And then what happens? The Vikings beat Dallas. Once you get to the playoffs, you have an opportunity to shake some trees. That's what I say with the 49ers. My intentions mean very well for 49er and the faithful because I'm one of them. But I'm also saying I got to be realistic. This team, the way it's constructed, the way they're started, even Kyle Shanahan has talked about it over the last couple of weeks. Well, we had to replace some great players. Don't expect for Upton Stout to come out looking like Talanoa Hufanga in the first couple of weeks. Now, as we move forward throughout the season, we hope our team can come together and have some camaraderie, and then we make it to the playoffs. Then talk to me.
Meanwhile, those feisty Giants, Jay's Giants, as they're called, Jay's Giants won a game and they won a baseball fight, and they're already today is more good news for the surging Giants. We're back with that next on Sacktown Sports.
Live and local.
With everything 49ers.
Intercepted by Fred Warner. Dives for the end zone. Touchdown! San Francisco. Bob George went up and caught the ball. Touchdown!
The 49ers play on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Attention taxpayers, if you owe $5,000 or more and have missed another tax deadline, you're officially on the IRS's radar. The IRS has resumed aggressive collections. That means wage garnishments, bank levies, even seizures of your home, car, or retirement accounts. If you owe $5,000 or more and missed the deadline, you're stacking new debt on top of what you already owe. Call Priority Tax Relief now. Their experts fight back fast and are saving their clients millions in tax debt every month.
I owed over $50,000. and they settled it for pennies on the dollar. These guys are as legit as they come.
After speaking on my behalf with the IRS, my entire debt of $25,000 will be eliminated. Whether you've received collection letters or you're already facing liens and garnishments, call for your free consultation. There are no upfront fees. Priority tax relief. Let's make your taxes our priority. Call 800-406-1584. 800-406-1584. 800-406-1584.
Priority tax relief.
At Valley Strong Credit Union, we know that local businesses are the backbone of the Central Valley, investing in our neighborhoods, boosting the economy, making the Valley stronger. But when it comes to their finances, where can they turn? A big bank that just sees another number? That's not good enough. Valley businesses deserve Valley support for payroll, credit, cash flow, and everything in between. Valley Business is Valley Strong. Learn how our cash management services can support your business at valleystrong.com.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Listen to the 49er Rewind daily, brought to you by Mountain Mike's Pizza, the official pizza of the 49ers. Mountain Mike's Pizza, pizza the way it ought to be.
Need cash fast? Tap into the value of your home with a home equity line of credit from Valley Strong Credit Union. Whether it's for home improvements, debt consolidation, or that dream vacation, you can get your cash offer in minutes. That's right, just minutes to unlock the power of your home's equity with no hard credit pull to see how much cash you can get. No stress, no waiting, just smart local banking that puts you first. Grow your possibilities with Valley Strong Credit Union. Visit valleystrong.com to get started today.
Black ghost, don't come creeping around here.
Your afternoon home for Kings Talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
We got a lot of baseball to get to in a short time here. The Giants winning again last night, 7-4. So they've won 9 of 10. They're trying to pass the Reds and chase down the Mets for the final wild card spot. And guess what? Today, the Mets were defeated, Jay. Already today, Detroit 6, New York Mets 2. So
Mets won yesterday, though, right?
They won yesterday, but they lost today.
Okay. Just saying Giants didn't gain nothing yesterday.
Right.
Okay.
Right. But they can gain today if they beat the Colorado Rockies. And last night, not only did they win the game, they, I think, won the fight, ? I don't know if you saw it, Jay. Rafael Devers in the first inning hit a monstrous home run against Freeland, and he appeared to really watch it. I thought he took a bad step. He watched it definitely. Then I thought he stumbled a little bit, so he stayed in the box maybe even a little longer. And on his way down to first base, he had the pitcher yelling at him because the pitcher thought he showed him up. So then Devers yells back at him, and then Chapman and Adames come roaring onto the field, and Chapman shoves the pitcher, and so Adames is thrown out because he just kept going and kept chattering. Freeland's thrown out because he kind of started it, and then you also had Matt Chapman thrown out. The Giants still won the game, but Jay, this team has it going on, and they are, they're running out of time, but they continue to whittle down that margin. They're still in this thing. What did you think of the etiquette there? I'll just tell you my opinion. I know that in today's baseball, you're allowed to watch a home run. You're allowed to flip a bat. I get that. That's the way it is now. There was a time, when I was taught baseball, you didn't do that. It's different now. I understand that. But I also personally don't have a problem with Kyle Freeland or Madison Bumgarner, for that matter, when Max Muncy hit a home run off of him. I don't mind a pitcher letting a hitter know that he didn't appreciate the guy staring at the ball. I think there's room for both in baseball. How about
Agreed.
you?
Yeah. Okay. I'm not a traditionalist. I'm a type of person that you reinvent yourself as time moves forward. If you stand still, you get left behind.
Sure.
However you see fit.
New school that's fine. But how about old school? The pitcher letting the guy know, I don't appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Okay, you're okay with that. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, play the game how you want to play it.
Yeah.
I'm not a believer that you are supposed to play the game like everybody else. You never let anybody put your talent in a box. However, your talent, if you color outside the lines, that's who you are. There's going to be a lot of people who dislike it, and you may suffer some repercussions. But I'm not the type of person that says, "Oh no, you got to play this way and we got to do it that way." No, if you felt someone showed you up, then absolutely throw inside.
Yeah.
Long as you are not intentionally. Let me make sure it is, because we got somebody here come people. Long as you're not trying to hurt a person, you're not throwing at a person's head. But as far as that, I'm gonna smack you right on the spinal cord. What's wrong with that?
I'm gonna dot you.
Absolutely.
Right. It's not
that's the way the game goes
now. So some Giants fans are being accused of being hypocritical because, as I mentioned, a lot of Giants fans, and I get it, they didn't like what Freeland did. It's like, hey, what's Devers supposed to do? He hit a home run, enjoy it. I get that. But Madison Bumgarner used to do the same thing that Freeland did. So, some guys are wired that way.
Yes.
Freeland did after the game. He admitted, I should have been thrown out. I started it. It's all part of the game. This should not be part of the game. This, I think we can agree on. There's a lot of these questions now when it comes to the unwritten rules that are kind of blurry and you can go back and forth on it. If this is what happened, I don't think there's any question. This is way, way across the line. And there's some baseball people that are saying, this guy is horrible for what he did. Did you see Framber Valdez last night?
A little bit.
Framber Valdez pitching to Trent Grisham of the Yankees. This game was in Houston, Astros and the Yankees. And the catcher, his name is Cesar Salazar. He apparently has problems with the pitch comm. He sent a sign out to Framber, and he wanted to change it, didn't think it was the right one. Framber's about to go into his windup, and the catcher puts both hands up, like, step off, step off. Valdez does not step off. He throws, I think he threw a sinker, and Grisham hits a grand slam. 2 pitches later, the catcher calls for a curveball, and Framber Valdez, it looks like he did it intentionally, throws that sinker and hits his catcher, crosses him up so he can bounce one off his chest protector. And I know Dallas Braden says that is low. If he did that on purpose, said that is about as low as you can get. There, according to reports, was a lot of friction in the Astro clubhouse last night. Framber Valdez, afterwards, he did apologize, and he said, it was a mistake. I didn't mean to do it. But if a pitcher is mad at his catcher and expresses that anger by crossing him up on purpose and bouncing a pitch off his chest protector, that is low, Jay.
Seen worse, man. I'll say this. The way Valdez looked when he threw the pitch, he kind of turned around and, looked like he was frustrated, angry, upset. Just his characteristics look like something was wrong.
His mannerisms.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you look at Salazar, and he kind of looks and he stares, and then, he gets the ball from the umpire. He stands up and he's got his mask off, and he just kind of looks and he shakes his head. Whitey, I've seen worse.
Maybe you have, but that's bad.
Yeah. It's you know what it is? There's dissension. There's dissension in the Houston Astros locker room. And we know when it's going bad, it's going terrible. It happens.
But
it's not the first time.
And to hurt a teammate because you're mad at what happened, that's low.
How can you? I'm just asking because I'm interested. I've pitched, I've caught, I've played infield, I played outfield. How would you get hurt?
You could hurt your hand for one thing.
Okay, I'm asking.
Yeah, you're expecting a breaking ball and he throws a hard sinker.
Hurt? You mean your offhand, your throwing hand?
Could.
Yeah, you should have that behind you anyway, or to the side of you. But I hear what you're saying.
But the purpose of that pitch is to humiliate and possibly
send
pain to your catcher.
That's it. I think that's it.
That's something you don't do to it. That's like showing up somebody on stage. Like if you're in a band, somebody makes a mistake and going, You see that?
Yep.
You don't do that.
I think that's the point, and that's where I was trying to get to. I was trying to see where you were going to go. It's more
showing up,
pulling your card. Yeah. It's more emotional. It's more less physical, more emotional. And so that's the problem. And I think that's where you have to come to Valdez, Salazar, the whole ball club at this point.
And it sounds like they did. They had definitely a meeting of the minds.
They should have. Yeah. And honestly, this probably should have been tucked and handled even weeks ago. Again, there's an issue with the ongoings of what's going on with the Houston Astros. And this is just an extension of that. And we got to witness it on the field. That's the problem, is when you have a teammate who is showing you up, and we know this, cooler heads rarely prevail when you're pulling somebody's card. And I think that's the issue that they're going to have if they haven't figured it out. But for Valdez as well, and I think it will follow him too. The reputation is like, oh, you're that dirty?
Yeah.
You're going to go after one of your teammates? Yeah. You can't handle that in the locker room like a gentleman, like a man, like an adult. We can't go talk that out, have a conversation, fight it out, duke it out, punch it, however you guys want to, figure it out, however you want to resolve the situation. But I truly think, looking at the situation, this is something that's probably been brewing for a while. The way that looked didn't look like all that started yesterday. That's just my intake on it.
Well, it's a night and
Pictures
day.
are weird anyway.
You compare that to what the Giants did. They rallied behind their teammate. Their togetherness, Jay. They got it all going on.
Boy, you sure drinking the Kool-Aid of the Giants family.
Woo!
Let me see, are you wearing a Giants undershirt or is that your Padres?
Padres are getting killed today, Jay.
I'm just checking. Is that a Giants undershirt or a Padres?
It is
As
not.
Draper would say, are you rocking black and orange underoos?
I'm here to talk about what's going on. Report the facts. Like they say in the movie 8 Men Out, you should never apologize for telling the truth, Mr. Gleason. That's in that movie. That is in that movie. So there you go, Jay. That's what's going on with the orange and black right now. Back to Kawhi. The Clippers appear to have committed what Adam Silver has called a cardinal sin of the NBA. So what is the NBA going to do about that? Next on Sacktown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm tired of being broken. I'm sick of feeling hopeless. When you take
Hey, this is Jelly Roll. This National Recovery Month, start your recovery journey. Choose a proven addiction treatment option that's right for you at choosechangec.org.
The Sacktown Sports 49ers Report is brought to you by Kia of Vacaville, conveniently located besides the Vacaville outlets. The 49ers start the regular season this Sunday on the road up in Seattle. San Francisco is looking to get back into the playoffs after a disappointing 6-11 season a year ago. Brock Purdy is ready to go after signing a 5-year, $265 million contract in the offseason, and Christian McCaffrey is feeling good after an injury-riddled 2024 campaign. Catch the game this Sunday beginning at noon right here on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Football season is here at Kia of Vacaville. You can score big in a new 2025 Kia Niro LX with up to 53 MPG combined at Kia of Vacaville. Perfect for road trips, tailgates, and cruising to Levi Stadium in style and comfort. But don't wait. Inventory is limited at Kia of Vacaville, and these deals won't last long. Visit KiaVacaville.com or stop by right next to the Vacaville outlets for friendly service, easy shopping, and unbeatable value. All in one stop. Kia of Vacaville, where the adventure begins. Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Locash, Vincent Mason, and Abriana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with RVs of Sacramento and the Sled Museum of Science and Curiosity. Tickets at CITPFest.com.
Labor Day, our annual celebration of workers and their achievements, was first observed in New York, and the first Monday in September became a national holiday in 1894. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Each year we commemorate Labor Day with parades, picnics, and family gatherings. And right now, Naturewood Home Furnishings is celebrating with their exceptional whole store Labor Day sale. Would you like to refresh your living room? Would you like to restyle your bedroom? Maybe you want to redesign your home office. No matter whether it's your dining room, kids' rooms, accents, or accessories, Naturewood's unique store-wide Labor Day sale offers savings in every department and savings on every brand like Stanton, Omnia, Stickley, Flex Steel, and all the rest of the award-winning furniture. When it comes right down to it, it's all about choices and always about quality. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable Labor Day sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity. Introducing the 5-year price guarantee. One internet price, 5 years guaranteed. Well, perhaps hidden in the attention given to rookies like Nick Kurtz and Jacob Wilson has been the play of outfielder Colby Thomas. Thomas, a third-round pick out of Mercer University, in his first 61 at-bats this year, 4 doubles, 4 home runs, and 13 RBIs.
Welcome to Dugout Radio, the undisputed home of Boomtown Baseball.
The Wi-Fi is booming with Xfinity, baby. Our next caller is
Stacy. How do you stay locked in on every pitch and play?
We stream it all live on Xfinity Internet with low lag, 99.99% network reliability, and speeds faster than a base runner beating the throw to home plate.
I stream on my TV, tablets, even my smart fridge.
Smart fridge.
With all those games, we gotta refuel.
Stream live baseball with Wi-Fi built for the biggest moments. Xfinity. Restrictions apply. Actual speeds vary, not guaranteed.
Your local sports leader in the 916.
KHD1 Sacramento. KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sacktown Sports 1140.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Big NBA news today is the report from Pablo Tori finds out, which, by the way, I saw mentioned on some report as PTFO.
Yeah.
So it's even got, PTFO, Pablo Tori finds out. I didn't know that it went by that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he just signed with the Athletic, too.
Quite an operation he's got going.
Yeah.
Pablo Tori finds out, reporting that the Clippers, when they signed Kawhi Leonard, they circumvented the salary cap by basically creating a company that paid him $28 million to do nothing. So the NBA is aware of this. The NBA is investigating. Mike Bass, NBA spokesman, said, "We are aware of this morning's media report regarding the LA Clippers and are commencing an investigation." My take on the whole thing is probably different.
Shouts out Mike Bass. He's been around for a while.
Has he?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't mean to make fun of him.
No, you're not. Hey, man, come on. You're doing what you're doing.
Mike Bass, NBA spokesman. I think clearly what's going to happen here is Kawhi Leonard's contract will be voided, and the Kings will end up with Kawhi Leonard and Jonathan Kuminga. That's the way I see it, Jay. That's where I think this thing is headed.
I like where your mind is at. I don't know necessarily. This sounds crazy because as a Kings fan, who am I to sit up here and say, well, we don't want that person, especially the ilk of Kawhi Leonard, but I don't want Kawhi Leonard.
Well, he's a perfect fit. He's well past his prime, and he was very well known, and he does some commercials. He's a New Balance guy, right?
Yeah, which he does it. Did you see Stephen A. talk about that today? He's like, I've never seen, doggy. I've never seen a guy have a commercial. Did you see him in a New Balance commercial? He didn't even talk. He let the kids talk. Like, no, Stephen A., bro. That's my guy, but man, sometimes I'll be like, Stephen A., bro. That's what you're paying attention to. But I understand, it's about making money these days. If you are the face, because he was the face of New Balance before they signed all these other people now.
Right. Jamal Murray,
Cooper Flagg. They've got some other Ty Maxey, I believe.
WNBA player, the blonde player that I think was friends with Steph Curry because I think she went to Stanford or something. Drapes is a big fan.
Yeah.
Not Paige Buchers.
No, yeah. She plays for the Sparks, right?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think she got hurt. Anyway,
I can't remember off.
Because she didn't do anything in the commercial. And I don't blame her, but she catches the ball and then flips it to Jamal Murray or whoever. Tyrese Maxey also is in that commercial.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, but they had her hardly doing it. She'd catch the basketball and then throw it, and then I think eventually
Cameron Brink.
Thank you. My apologies. She hardly did anything. And then somebody finally realized it, and they had her like get a rebound and then flip it to the next person. I know she's a skilled player. I'm not saying she can't do anything, but they didn't have her do anything. Next.
Well, it seemed like the whole marketing staff missed the key because Kawhi didn't even talk.
Right. According to a 2019 report by The Athletic, the NBA had looked into complaints that Leonard's uncle and chief business partner, Dennis Robertson, had asked for improper benefits from multiple teams when Leonard was a free agent that summer. So this is separate from this, but the NBA is looking into whether it could be connected. Sources at the time, again, this goes back to 2019, predating the story that came out today. Sources at the time said Robertson asked team officials, Jay, for part ownership of the team, a private plane that would be available at all times, a house, and a guaranteed amount of off-court endorsement money that they could expect if Leonard played for their team. League sources with knowledge of that investigation, and I'm just reading from The Athletic now, said no evidence was found indicating that the Clippers, who ultimately landed Leonard on that 3-year, $103 million contract in the summer of 2019, had granted any other requests. But Silver said if further evidence surfaced, the league would reopen its investigation, and so they may have to reopen that investigation.
Do you really believe they would reopen it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they may be forced to, or at least acknowledge it. Yes, well, we're looking into it. Again, it's public pressure. Hey, this is a big problem. You looked into this before. What are you going to do about it now? This doesn't become a story, to me, a big story, as we discussed earlier, until and unless Kawhi Leonard's contract is voided. And I really don't know how you could, if the league finds wrongdoing, the league may look at this and go, Pablo Tori's wrong. He's adding 2 and 2 and getting 7.
Yeah.
They may say that, and they may be right. I don't know. But unless he's wrong, I think the league would have to void the contract. It's a clear violation. You can't say, all right, we're going to take 2 second-round picks, but allow you to keep them.
How many more years is he locked on for the Clippers? Did you take a look at that?
Thank you, Alan Stiles. Cameron Brink. Yeah, thank you, Alan.
Yeah, you're late, Cameron.
Good question. I don't have the details on that.
Let me see. Let me look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I hear what you're saying. I truly do, Whitey. I don't know if that necessarily changes anything, minus the fact of, okay, he becomes a free agent and Steve Balmer loses a guy that technically, in most people's eyes, without looking at the black and white, believe he doesn't play.
Mm-hmm. Are you saying Kawhi Leonard going to whatever team would be like Cam Newton going to the Patriots?
Yeah, I truly believe at this point because he's not adding much value to who the Clippers are on the court. Everything else outside of it, I don't know. The jersey sales, I ain't take the time to look up to see how many jerseys Kawhi is selling. I don't know what Steve Ballmer's making off Kawhi, his likeness, all those different things. That is a different conversation to have. But if the only thing, and I'm just saying, if that's the only thing, and they snap a few second-round draft picks, maybe a first-round draft pick, Steve Ballmer don't give a damn. He got all the money in the world to be in every free agent conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So where does that factor in? Because it sets precedent to say, well, it happened. Well, it's happened 25 years ago with Joe Smith. It's happened throughout the other 25 years. Where's the big deal? If, okay, you cut his deal, what does it matter? He goes to get more money?
Well, I'm not saying that's all they do. I'm saying that's got to start with that.
Okay.
If the Clippers are found to be guilty of this, which again, we don't know. It's possible that Pablo Tori is wrong. Looks like he's got a pretty good case here, but he could be wrong. Then you got to strip them of draft picks, don't you? I mean,
I think you need to do some other stuff to it. For sure, but I guess what I'm asking is,
and you can find him, which is like whatever.
Yeah, it's fine. Who? Steve Ballmer?
Right,
man. Don't
Good luck with that.
Yeah, don't worry. But let me throw a few Microsoft.
Do you have to strip him of his franchise?
Now
as someone suggested.
Now that's what would. Let's talk about some real business.
Right.
That's what I'm saying is We're talking about Kawhi Leonard getting cut from the Clippers. Who give a damn? Nobody cares about that.
I think people would care, but we'll see.
I would disagree.
We'll see.
I would disagree. The only people that would care is
Kings fans would care when he comes here. And teams with Kuminga.
All right.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But do you really think that there would be support? Do you think it would be prudent for the league to even consider that? Again, we don't know.
Yes.
In the United States of America, you are not guilty unless you are proven to be guilty.
Right.
So we don't know if anybody did anything here. And besides, this is not a criminal case. But if Steve Ballmer knowingly, and the Clippers have a statement, they say this is provably false. None of this is true. If Steve Ballmer was part of this, like, yeah, we'll give you $28 million for nothing. That way you get your money and the league doesn't know. Would stripping him of his franchise really be something the league should consider?
Oof, I don't know about that because you kind of teeter. It sounds crazy because we're talking about a multi-billionaire.
By the way,
right?
if that happens, the Clippers clearly are cursed.
Two of their owners?
Yeah. And I know this is nothing like Sterling, but man.
Yeah, it would be because everybody loves Steve Ballmer as an owner. Yeah. They all talk about he's a player's guy, doesn't mind spending money.
Built that
arena with his own private financing, or him and his group. Yeah, I mean, he truly has, he's got an affinity for bathrooms, but he
right. Who doesn't like that? What fan doesn't like the owner who makes sure there's plenty of bathrooms?
He's kind of had sterling, right? Yeah. A sterling relationship with the league, and reputation is pretty high throughout the NBA. Would you agree with that? Like, there's really no black eyes on Steve Ballmer at the moment.
By the way, some really smart comments here in the text lines.
For sure.
A lot of people are suggesting the Clippers probably leaked this so they can have the contract voided and they get rid of him, so they don't have to pay him.
So he signed through this year and next year. So he signed he re-upped on a 3-year deal worth $149 million. So let's call it $150.
Yeah. So as punishment, you have to keep Kawhi Leonard for the length of his contract.
So he's owed $50 million this year and next year. That's what I'm saying. How old is Kawhi Leonard? Maybe I should check that too. He's 34.
34.
Turned 34 in June.
His knees are at least 44. I mean, I say that respectfully.
No, I get what you're saying. I think we all understand that, especially folks that's in our 30s and 40s. For the NBA, it would be big because just what you said, he is a name, and when he plays, he's a baller, no doubt about it. But what are you really efforting if you are the Kings, if you are Phoenix, if you are Portland, when it comes to Kawhi? You're hoping and praying on a star. You're wishing upon a star.
You mean for those teams to
go grab him?
No, it's a great point.
Like, what would you be looking for from him?
Yeah. I mean, a team like Portland, you want to keep them ready for the postseason. Well, we might not
make it.
Chris the Mom says, if you allow them to do this without consequences, if confirmed true, then any team can plan this with a superstar player. That really matters. Yes.
That's the big thing, right? Why?
Yes, because you'd be going, okay, we don't like it, but if you'd essentially be condoning it if you don't come down on them hard.
Yeah. And that's the big deal right there, is if you don't make a state, if you don't, put some reprimand what the Clippers are doing or what they allegedly have done, then I think it opens the door for the rest of the league, the Miamis, the Knicks, the Lakers, the Dallases, the Chicagos, big market and really small markets too, because you play the game. But the Warriors, the Joe Lacob, these teams have already been chastised, especially the Warriors, for overspending to win championships, right?
The whole new CBA was aimed at Joe Lacob and who else? Steve Ballmer.
Yeah. So I think if you don't reprimand the Clippers at a high level, then as you said, or Chris the Mom said, shouts out Chris the Mom, talk about condoning this type of behavior, this type of signing, and this is how you can facilitate free agents throughout the league. You can backdoor and plant a tree. But let me go ahead and give you this. I saw somebody too. I had to laugh because somebody said had to be a former college player here. Oh man, I lost it. And they were 916. My job parentheses, was twice a week. I had to make sure the sprinklers came on at our practice field. Man, we should do something like that one day. We should open up the lines or something and combine all former athletes and what was your erroneous job. Of course, no names. But wouldn't that be funny? Because I know there's some funny jobs that people had.
Yeah.
I know it.
Former, I'm sure there are. Former finance department official at Aspiration was contacted by Pablo Tori.
Yeah.
And they agreed to talk to him if he allowed them to disguise their voice. So Leonard didn't have to do anything. This is the former finance department official at Aspiration. Uncle Dennis demanded payment. It was priority one. It was something that had to be done, and it was crucial to our relationships with Balmer and the Clippers. And then when this person went on, and it's one of those things where they disguise their voice. There was a lot of swearing in it too, Jay.
Yeah, it was.
This person said he didn't have to do anything. I couldn't believe how much money he got for doing nothing. But he mentioned this person, and I don't actually know if it's a he or she, mentioned who? Uncle Dennis. There's Uncle Dennis again.
Yeah.
That's the guy that the league said, something else happens, we're going to have to look into this again. So now they have to.
They should. They truly should, because it could open up the doors to a bigger situation.
Yes.
Definitely.
Just looking here at, let's see, this is Section 3 of Article 13, penalties here within the league bylaws. Let's see here. This is the details of penalties within the section that covers salary cap circumvention. Any team that violates league rules for a first time as well as a player could face the following outcomes after their case goes to an appeals panel. A fine of up to $7.5 million. The direct forfeiture of draft picks. The voiding of the player's contract or any renegotiation, extension, or amendment of a player contract between such player and such team. A fine of up to $350,000 for the player. A suspension for up to 1 year for any team personnel found to have willfully engaged in such violation, and the voiding of any transaction or agreement found to have violated league rules, and the forced forfeiture of funds received in the deal unless the player establishes by a preponderance of evidence that he was unaware of the violation. End quote.
What you could possibly say, well, Uncle D handles all my business. Mitchell Frank, who's his agent, Kawhi Leonard's agent, well, I have no clue. They just brought me the deal and I signed it. I trusted in them. They have power of attorney, power of rights. I mean, there's so many different ways. You can just play dumb, take the fifth. Have you seen The Godfather? Man, I don't even know. What's going on. I plead the fifth, Your Honor.
Yes.
So, I mean, there's so many different avenues that this probably can play out. But the two or three things I heard within those bylaws is this. Anyone who touched the paper or knowingly knew that this was happening is going to get suspended. Let me tell you this. You know who the two or three people who is not going to have no issue with this if this contract is voided out? That'd be Kawhi Leonard, Steve Ballmer, and Uncle Dennis. You know who the person is going to have a huge issue when they lose their job and maybe can't, go pay their bills or take care of their children? It's the people, the little people, the people who pass the papers, right? So that's the first part. The second part of that too becomes he can't re-sign with the Clippers. As someone joked about, maybe the Clippers did leak this.
Maybe the Clippers are reading this going, yes.
Yeah. We don't need them or want them anyway. We've been trying to figure out how we can get from under the $100 million we still owe them.
This could be the greatest cap circumvention ever. Talk about playing chess and not checkers.
Leaking it.
If we're caught guilty of violating, of circumventing the cap, we can actually circumvent the cap and get rid of them.
Man. And then the third part I heard was they could suspend, they could strip you for something for a year, which was a pick or something in the first part of the bylaw. Man, the Clippers ain't worried about that. I don't see anything that is damning for the Clippers.
Yeah, direct forfeiture of draft picks.
Yeah,
obviously, if you strip somebody of a bunch of ones, that can hurt.
Now,
them.
if we're talking about 5, 6, 7, I saw somebody say something. You don't strip him from the 408 shots out San Jose area out there. You don't strip him of the squad, but you strip him of his rights to do business for a few years and insert like a neutral trustee appointed by the league to manage his affairs for like 3 years. Now we're starting to bark up the right tree, in my opinion, because the one thing we know is Steve Ballmer is a super fan. one thing we know, he not only is at the Intuit Dome, but he's always on the road with this squad as well. We know, like I said, he's a player's owner. Everybody talks. I just saw something, Ty Lue on Club Shea, right? I saw somebody sent me a clip, and he's like, yeah, absolutely love Steve Ballmer. Dude's the best. Great owner. You know, I've coached for some great owners and played for great owners, and Steve Ballmer was part of that list. I think to make it stick, you have to stick it to Steve Ballmer. How you do that, I'm not exactly sure. We can toss around ideas, but money ain't going to sting him.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. If you suspended him for a year, that would kill him because you know how
can't
much
go
he
to the
loves
arena?
being there.
That's what I'm saying.
He
Yeah.
loves being there. I'm just reading this one bylaw here. A suspension for up to 1 year for, quote, any team personnel found to have willfully engaged in such violation, end quote. Does team personnel, does that apply to Kawhi? Could he be suspended? I mean, that would be really sad if he were suspended and never played and his career ended, you know, because, yeah, I'm done. But I don't know if he would be team personnel. When I first read that, I'm thinking, no, that means people that work for the team.
Yeah.
But if anybody is, should be in line for a suspension, I think he'd be one of the people if he did this willingly. But again, it gets back to,
for sure.
Did he do it willingly or I don't know. Somebody gave me flaxseed oil. I don't know.
Team personnel to me
doesn't.
Yeah, Victor Conti and Barry Bonds.
Yeah, it
and
is. That's right. That's right.
Did you hear? We didn't talk about this yesterday. Dante Kirkman, who's a middleweight prospect, fighting Thunder Showdown.
Yeah.
Did you hear him drop Victor Conti?
You know, I did, and I was like, I know that name. Yeah.
Yep.
And it slipped my mind. I heard him say that, and I was like, oh, okay. Wait, what?
You know, he jumped out of jail, and he connected with boxing and MMA. Snacker's a big brand when it comes to MMA and boxing. But he is like, as you heard Dante say, he's one of the most profound trainers, nutritionists, you know, in boxing at the point, which is
he
like,
said it, and I was like, wait, what? I know that name. Then I was focusing on what else he said.
Yeah, 100. It's interesting because I remember him he took part in a few camps with Manny Pacquiao, and that kind of really blew him back up. You know, and he's been in a bunch of other people's camps, but yeah, I was like, man, Victor Conte has definitely reinvented himself.
Yes, he has. Good for him. I think this is going to end up forcing Commissioner Silver to do something he doesn't want to do. David Stern lived for this stuff. It's like, oh, give me my axe. I'm going to work. He loved saying, no, they can't. Chris Paul can't go there. We're going to come down hard on the Timberwolves. Adam Silver, and probably it's because the league's in a much healthier place. He seems less inclined to really take action like this unless he has to, like in the case of Donald Sterling. But I think in this case, if this is proven to be true, he's going to have to do something drastic.
I think to make a point, you have to.
Yes.
What that means you have to punish the Clippers, Steve Ballmer, and Kawhi. Boy, that would be.
Uncle Dennis ain't coming to any more team parties.
Yeah, that would. Uncle Dennis he's papered out anyway. He's chilling at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know how you go about doing that and making it stick to each of them to where it's like, dang, that was stiff. I think when you're talking about people that have the type of monetary, financial backing that Steve Ballmer has, a lot of it is own. How do you really stick him beside kind of like what we talked about, not allowing him to be a part of the organization, being a fan, being at the game, taking part in the league party, taking part in, ownership meetings, things like that. I think that's where you can kind of get at him.
In my opinion, he has the wherewithal to acquire some very aggressive legal help.
I would think so.
Yeah. I mean, Ashton and Price, here we come, right? He's going to get don't think twice. He's going to call Ashton and Price. I know they're injury attorneys, but I mean, he will find somebody who will mount a vigorous legal
come
defense.
on now. I'm talking about that.
Yeah.
that team would be literally showtime.
Yeah.
Magic Johnson, James Worthy, Rambis, Vlade, Michael Cooper, Byron Scott's type.
Yeah.
That team would be tremendous.
The other thing I think the league has to be aware of, Jay, is they have to look at this and go, wait a minute. If this comes out and we make a big deal of this, and then someone else says, it also happened here, and it happened here, and it happened here, then what are we going to do? They may want to try to contain it. And I don't know what the reality is, but if it is that common, and like I said, I know we heard Dave today talking about tip of the iceberg. The league doesn't want that happening.
No,
right?
they don't want that out.
Free agent. Oh, man, what are we going to do? So they have to keep that in mind as well as they decide how to mete out punishment. Bottom line is Kawhi Leonard. I was going to say he comes to the Kings, but I don't even know if we want that, do we? As you said.
You know what I thought about real quick before we break? Who's the person, no disrespect to Pablo Tori, I would venture to say, and maybe I'm going to have to shoot him a text, see if we get him on, because I'm pretty sure he's ready to talk about it at all points of times now. Do you think he came across something, or you think someone gave him a tip? You think someone else was like, you should look at this?
Pablo?
Yeah.
I don't know how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good question. I'm not sure. I would think that he's got to have people.
Oh, working for him.
Yeah.
It's the Reveal movement, right?
He has to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of these big name reporters. Yeah, of course. They have a whole squad that works around them, and they're looking for these type of tips. And at the same time, we know TMZ, it's a big thing right now. People get paid for tips. Somebody might have said, let me slide you this folder, and maybe you should take a look, because how in the hell does this even come out, Whitey?
Yeah. Did you hear? He said, so when I found out about this, I scoured the internet to see if I could see any evidence of Kawhi doing work for this company. I wonder if he scoured the internet, or if someone had already scoured the internet. Now, I'm not accusing him of anything, anything untoward,
no.
But it's quite possible that he got this whole thing handed to him.
Which is that I think someone, and by you saying that, like, I scoured the internet to check for this, Aspire and Inspiration and all this type. To me, that lets me know somebody shot him a tip, like, hey, do your journalistic work.
Right.
But take a look at this.
Yeah, well,
there may be something there.
He says, then I reached out to this person. It's possible it all started with that person. Coming forward with all this.
Ooh, somebody getting them palms greased. Man.
There's a lot of stadiums that are planned now in Sacramento. A lot of them. What is going on with all these stadiums at this time? We're going to find out from Roger Dickinson. He's joining us now, right, Jay? Yeah, Roger Dickinson, Sacramento City Council District 2. He also played basketball at Cal. Long-time Kings supporter. He did everything he could to get an arena built before this arena was even done. Roger Dickinson joining us next. Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports.
This is Alan Stiles on Sacktown Sports 1140, and the big deals are rolling in at Folsom Buick's GMC's end of summer sales event. Right now, take home the 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Denali with $13,500 off MSRP, or lease it for just $699 a month for 24 months with $5,999 due at signing. This is your chance to drive the bold and powerful Sierra 1500 Crew Cab, built to stand out on the road. When the summer ends, so do these deals. So don't miss out. Visit FolsomBuick.com today.
You waited a lifetime for this moment. Now it's time to celebrate. The official collection. The Oklahoma City Thunder NBA champions. Available now at NBA Store. A Fanatics experience.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers, and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-838-6767. That's 800-838-6767.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options, heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's TREX.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Attention taxpayers. If you owe $5,000 or more and have missed another tax deadline, you're officially on the IRS's radar. The IRS has resumed aggressive collections. That means wage garnishments, bank levies, even seizures of your home, car, or retirement accounts. If you owe $5,000 or more and miss the deadline, you're stacking new debt on top of what you already owe. Call Priority Tax Relief now. Their experts fight back fast and are saving their clients millions in tax debt every month.
I owed over $50,000 and they settled it for pennies on the dollar. These guys are as legit as they come.
After speaking on my behalf with the IRS, my entire debt of $25,000 will be eliminated.
Whether you've received collection letters or you're already facing liens and garnishments, call for your free consultation. There are no upfront fees. Priority Tax Relief. Let's make your taxes our priority. Call 800-406-1584. 800-406-1584. 800-406-1584.
Priority Tax Relief.
And local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
It's Whitey and Jay today. You know, Jay is always hanging out with celebrities, shakers, movers.
Including you.
Recently hanging out with our next guest, right?
Yeah, I was just, fly on the wall there, brother. Fly on the wall. No, I got to run into a council member at the Grand Folsom game, and, you know what you do? You pay respects, you walk up, you shake your hand.
Yeah,
that's what we do.
I hope I can do him justice with this intro because he's a very, very accomplished member of the community, member of the Sacramento City Council, District 2, former Sacramento supervisor and state assembly member. Jay played guard at Cal.
Could handle the rock, baby.
He played guard.
Shoot it.
Yeah.
Pass it.
Yeah. Roger Dickinson with us. How are you today, Roger?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
We're good. It's been a long, long time since we've had you on the air. We appreciate your time very much. Now, first things first, I know you're a San Francisco Giants fan.
Jay was going to start with this.
Jay has been kind of bad-mouthing the Giants for a while, but is there time for them to scrap and claw their way into the postseason, Roger?
Well, I'd say never give up hope. I was at the game on Sunday. It was a beautiful day and a beautiful game unless you were a Baltimore Orioles fan because they couldn't seem to field the ball. But you got to be encouraged, I think, and looking at the way I think Devers and Adames are settling in. I think Chapman's, back and better. I think he probably came back a little too soon after his hand injury initially. I'd say the issue going down the stretch for them is probably going to be more pitching than hitting, oddly enough, given the way they have underperformed offensively this season. But they seem to be hitting well. But where's the pitching coming from? I think that's if I had a concern, that's what it would be.
There you go, Jay.
I understand,
Jay.
Roger, forecasting, and I'll say this. I think this season, the 4.5 game behind the New York Mets, even though Whitey's told me the Mets have lost today, the Giants get to play the Rockies yet again, so they'll probably pick up another half game. Foreshadowing, after this year, next year, you know, a lot of people have put their hopes on your guy, the all-star, the new general manager. Do you believe in what the movement is going on over with the Giants?
I like it. I got to say, I like it. Truthfully, I was not a big fan of Farhan, and I think they needed a change in direction, which they've taken. I know there have been people who have been critical of Melvin as the manager, but I like Bomel, and of course he's a Cal guy. You know that.
That's right.
He's he knows what he's doing. I mean, he's been around the game a long time. So I think Posey has got a great fix on what needs to be done to be successful. He obviously was that and more, an all-star catcher, a Hall of Fame catcher, I think. When the time comes, and so I like where things are headed.
It's Roger Dickinson, Sacramento City Council member, and that's enough about the Giants, Roger, because we got baseball here in Sacramento. How, in your opinion, has Sacramento's experiment with the A's worked in year one, all things considered?
I think that generally speaking, I know some people have been disappointed with the attendance. I think there are some external reasons for that maybe we don't need to talk about. But Sacramento, this region is baseball. Sacramento is a baseball town, and when I was on the board of supervisors and very involved in getting Rayleigh Field built, so we had a place and got the River Caps here. There was no doubt in my mind that they would be successful because of that strong baseball tradition that we have in this region. And I think we could do the same for Major League Baseball. I don't think our challenge here, ultimately, if we got an expansion team, for example, would be attendance. Our challenge here is the challenge. It is generally for our community, whether we're talking about the arts or sports or any kind of charitable endeavors. It's the kind of corporate base that you need to have to be successful. And so that's the side of the equation, I think, more than anything else we need to work on. But you guys may not know this, but our whole plan or idea when we went after AAA baseball in the late 90s was to lay the foundation so we could demonstrate to Major League Baseball that we deserved a major league team when the time came, and I think we can do that. I think we can meet that test.
Yeah, Councilman, I actually agree with you. I'm gonna follow up right there because I think I know you've played a huge part in keeping sports here in Sacramento and moving the narrative forward. As Whitey teased you last segment, talking about your efforts in Arco Arena and of course the Golden One.
And that arena that never got built. And
right.
Even though it looked like it was going to fail, Roger, I'll never forget. I think you came on the show and you said, like the Saturday before the election, and the poll said there was no chance. And you said, I'm going to go out and knock on doors. You got to try it. I'll never forget that you made that effort. Yeah. Well, thankfully we got Golden One, and in the end, it was a torturous path to get there. But as I said at the time, and I continue to say, that is not about the rich guys who own the team. It's not about the rich guys in short pants who run up and down the floor. It's about us. It's what do we want for Sacramento? What do we want in the way of entertainment options and alternative offerings? Do we want the best artists in the world to come and have concerts here? Do we want to have Disney on Ice? Do we want to have pro basketball? Do we want to have Major League Baseball? If those are things we want for our community, then we need to be willing to invest to make them happen. But it's not about the ball players, frankly. It's not about the singers. It's about us. It's about what we want for our community to make it the best place possible to live and enjoy.
Councilman, it's great to hear that, because I would I guess this is a twofold question for you, sir, is how did you have the foresight in seeing that our community, Sacramento, our region, could really push the narrative of saying, look, we can support major league sports. And then on top of that, to be a season ticket holder for the Giants, to be a season ticket holder for the San Francisco 49ers. I hope I'm not telling your business, but to be a season ticket holder for Cal. And then now you get to see a top flight arena right here in your backyard, the G1C. How does that make you feel?
Well, I think it's what the people of Sacramento deserve to have. I think this, some people have said historically that we want to be a world-class city. I've always taken a little bit different view of that, and what I've always said is we want to be a first-class city. We have and deserve the best for the people of this city and of this region. We have, I think, the kind of support and enthusiasm for a whole host of entertainment options across the board in sports, arts, and the rest. We have a need in one way to have those things here in our community to serve our community and its institutions. So I've never doubted, as I have lived through most of my years now here in Sacramento. I didn't grow up here. I grew up in the East Bay, but I've watched Sacramento, this entire region, grow and mature and evolve into a place that I think is equal to any place in the country. And so, I don't want Sacramento to be San Francisco or Paris or anywhere else. I want it to be Sacramento. We are our own special place, and we deserve to create our own history, and we deserve for people to have the very best quality of life possible.
It's Roger Dickinson, member of the Sacramento City Council. It's interesting, Council Member Dickinson, because now we have plans for the Rail Yard Soccer Stadium, and we have Sac State talking about the football stadium at Cal Expo, and we talked about MLB expansion. A lot of people think there will be a plan hatched for a stadium somewhere in Sacramento next year. All of a sudden, plans for maybe 3 different stadiums. Is there any rhyme or reason as to why this is all happening at this juncture?
I think it's because we're really on the cusp of the next great leap for the city and for the region. As we look at what's happening with growth, with industry, with commerce, even within the state of California, we have a lot of people coming here from the Bay Area, from Southern California. Our cost of living is a little bit more affordable than other parts of the state. We are always going to be the center of state government with the capital here. We have a lot, plus generally climate notwithstanding. Obviously, we have toasty summers, but you know what? We have so much to attract people here. And one of the things we have struggled with over the years is to establish an identity for Sacramento. But I think we're emerging as a place that people recognize. I can tell you in years I went to talk to some airlines, and we had to pull out the map to show them where Sacramento was when we were trying to get them to start service here. You don't have to do that anymore. We are on the map, and we're growing to be a bigger and bigger and more important place in that regard. I think what you're seeing in terms of what's going on at Sac State, what's going on with soccer, the possibility of Major League Baseball, I think those are all just a reflection of the continued elevation of our city and our area, not just in sports, by the way, but in lots of different capacities, food, retail commerce, the arts, really across the board.
Councilman, joined by Councilman Roger Dickinson. All right, enough of that, because I got to ask you about your 49ers. We're a 49er station. I know you're enthralled about the 49ers. Give me a preview of the season, sir. Give me some hope, because I'm teetering on this team is going to make the playoffs, but I'm having a hard time seeing a Super Bowl run from my 49ers right now. The faithful. You part of the faithful. Give me some love here.
Keep the faith. Well, one small modification. I don't have season tickets for the Niners, but But I am a 49ers fan, no doubt about that. And you know what? I think the big question for the 49ers obviously has to do with the receiving core. Now Jawan Jennings is back and productive. I mean, that's a big step in the right direction. I'm among those who think Brock Purdy is really incredible in what he has done. I am not one of those who downplays his ability or talent, and I think he can take the 49ers, assuming McCaffrey is healthy. I think they can be very competitive, very successful. I think that last year was going to be an anomaly. I think as we look in the rearview mirror, the injuries obviously had a huge impact on them, and of course, in football at any level, it's injuries that are such an influential factor on how teams are able to perform ultimately. But if the 49ers can stay relatively healthy, I like their shot. I like their chances.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Look at
Yeah.
Councilman Dickinson giving me some hope. I appreciate that. Councilman, I don't know if you've had an opportunity. This just came down the pipe, and maybe you have your hand in behind this as well. Have you heard the new movement that's going to happen over at Cal, where they're welcoming the black bear, which is like a resemblance of the black hole?
Black hole at Cal games, and they're going to call it the black bear
at the football games.
In one end zone.
In one of the end zones. Now, I know you frequent your Cal games here and there. You guys had a good weekend here, to start the season. What's your thoughts on that, especially coming from the East Bay?
In the middle
the
of
black
bear.
I don't know. Now you guys are ahead of me on this one. I haven't heard this one, so I got to admit I'm not familiar with it. But we take great pride in being golden bears. So we'll have to see how a black bear fits in. But the changing landscape of college sports, it's almost hard to keep up with what has happened over even just the last 5 years. And my good friend Nancy Skinner, of course, carried legislation that in many ways kicked off the NIL movement. And I am one of those who is not necessarily a huge fan of the kind of changes we're seeing in college sports. But we're going in a direction, I think, that ultimately may really divide the schools into those that are playing at the level of a lot of national attention, and those that are playing at a much less intense level.
Councilman, you've had the opportunity to be part of Cal, obviously playing basketball. You've been a part of Cal ever since, I would imagine, you gave that scholarship money, that academic money, that tuition. What's your take on where Cal sits? Of course, now being part of the ACC and the Pac-12, and you're from the traditional Pac-8, Pac-10 to Pac-12. Like, what's your take on where Cal is, and as you talked about, college sports is right now?
Well, I think the demise of the Pac-12 was something that it could easily have been avoided, and there's a lot of blame, I think, that can be assigned to people who should have known better, that led to losing the Pac-12, and it left. I think quite obviously it left Stanford and Cal in particular in a very difficult place where they didn't have a lot of good choices. You can argue whether joining the ACC was the best of those not very attractive choices or not. But I would say this. I think it's going to be very hard for Stanford and Cal in the premier sports, particularly football and basketball, to compete successfully, at least over the next several years in the ACC. And there are a couple of reasons for that in particular. I mean, one is the travel, whereas the East Coast teams are making one trip to the West Coast a year, Cal and Stanford are making 4 and 5 trips for their football teams. And that's, I mean, you know, kids are young, they're tough, they're resilient, but that's hard. That is really a hard thing to do. The second is, obviously, to get into the ACC, Cal and Stanford made huge concessions on the revenue side with respect to the media contracts, and you know, that makes it tough. You've got to these days raise the money. You've got to have the resources to attract and keep kids in your program. I mean, there are certainly kids who were playing at Cal last year. And maybe every other school, but certainly in Cal, that transferred not because they didn't like the coach or not because they didn't like Berkeley or things like that, but because they could get a better deal at another school. And I think that's one of the things that, you know, we're going to come to have to try to grapple with in the next few years with college sports is this huge movement of players each year from one school to another. So that's, I think, something that is particularly challenging for Cal, which is still carrying a large debt on the improvements and upgrades that were made to Memorial Stadium and the seismic work that had to be done. So, you know, there's a heavy financial load that Cal is carrying, even beyond what Stanford is dealing with, that I think make it disadvantageous in competing with a lot of the other schools. On the other hand, you know, there's no experience like going to the University of California at Berkeley. I mean, there's no place else in the country, in my humble opinion, that matches that experience. And if you leave Berkeley with a degree in your hand, you are going to have a better life because of that degree.
Roger Dickinson, council member, thank you so much for your time and all your optimistic notes on the Giants, on the 49ers, and Sacramento's stadium future. We appreciate it, Roger. Hope to talk to you again soon.
Great to be with you.
Let's go Bears.
Let's go Bears.
Yeah. My mom, Jay, my mom went to Cal, and that's how she used to wake us up every morning.
Let's go Bears?
Let's go Bears.
Really?
Yeah, I'm in. Let's get up and get to school.
Get moving.
Yeah, let's
the
go
Cubs.
Bears.
Come on, baby Cubs.
Yeah. By the way, and Roger Dickinson mentioned the 49ers, and thank you, Jay, for sending this along. Kyle Shanahan today, talking to the media, he noted that Colton McKivitz and Jawan Jennings are 2 players the team wants to retain long term.
It's interesting.
Jawan Jennings, they want to keep him long term.
That's interesting, Whitey. I might have a little something on that on the other side.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I want to hear the clip. I haven't heard it. I just sent it to you and I saw the quotations. But man, what does that mean as far as how long and the type of money that you want to spend with Double J?
Yeah. Is it time to take a timeout?
Yeah, you got about a minute. You're good. Yeah, you can break when you want.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of the 49ers here, I don't know if you saw this, but apparently, according to Vivid Seats, they have a crowd predictor based on ticket sales.
Okay.
Vivid Seats crowd predictor for week 1 in Seattle. That crowd is projected to be, based on ticket sales, in Seattle, 53% 49er fans.
Doesn't surprise me.
In Seattle.
Doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me. The faithful, they travel very well. The faithful, they show up. The faithful, they support their squad. Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. So what Kyle Shanahan had to say about Jawan Jennings today and what it all means next when we come right back. Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports.
Hey everyone, it's Kyle Draper here. If you're in the market for a new car, let me tell you about my experience with Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. From the moment I walked into their state-of-the-art showroom, I knew I was making the right choice. There was no pressure from the sales staff, and if I'm being honest, I felt like a kid in a candy store. I settled on the all-electric EQS SUV, and let me tell you why. First of all, the comfort. After a long day at work, I actually look forward to being in my car. It has several different massage settings, including my favorite, hot relaxing back. Plus, the seat heating and cooling features are perfect for the hot summer or those chilly mornings. Mercedes-Benz has the reputation of making the finest cars in the world. Now it's your turn to experience what I already know. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton is the best car buying experience you'll ever have. They're just a short drive down I-5, or you can shop online anytime at mbofstockton.com. That's mbofstockton.com, and tell them Drape sent you.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part, they accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide, based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
It takes decades of hard work to buy a home, but the hard work doesn't stop there. At Rocket Mortgage, we believe your home is an active investment, not a passive one. So let's put it to work. When you unlock home equity, you unlock new doors for your family, renovations, extensions, even buying your next property. Get started today with smarter tools and guidance from real mortgage experts. Find out how at rocketmortgage.com. Rocket Mortgage LLC, licensed in 50 states. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Mom, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotion. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. Consequently, they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Dial pound 250 and say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk. Everything you need and nothing you don't.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with primetime football. It's back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. Offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region, and conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, this is Jelly Roll. This National Recovery Month, start your recovery journey. Choose a proven addiction treatment option that's right for you at ChooseChangeCA.org.
At Valley Strong Credit Union, we know that local businesses are the backbone of the Central Valley.
investing in our neighborhoods, boosting the economy, making the Valley stronger. But when it comes to their finances, where can they turn? A big bank that just sees another number? That's not good enough. Valley businesses deserve Valley support for payroll, credit, cash flow, and everything in between. Valley Business is Valley Strong. Learn how our cash management services can support your business at valleystrong.com.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at tmobile.com.
Hit the field during Sky River Casino's $400,000 touchdown for a truck giveaway. Play slots and table games daily to earn entries. Then join in on the action every Saturday for a chance to score up to $15,000 in free play or a brand new 2025 Chevy Silverado 1500. Visit skyriver.com to see how you can get 100 bonus entries every Tuesday and Friday. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 or over.
I'm Sia, and I support Humane World for Animals. Together, we have created a new version of Peter Gabriel's beautiful song, Salisbury Hill, to celebrate Humane World for Animals and everything they do. Enjoy the song and join us in helping Humane World for Animals end animal cruelty.
Grab your things, I want to take you home.
Some things can steal your sunshine. Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken. Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more.
I just took a COVID test. Ugh.
Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports 1140.
Working on a weekend like usual. Way off in the deep end like usual.
There is no better duo. Nope. Never.
It's the Drive Guys.
Right here on Sacktown Sports.
Well, you know how Kyle Draper's feeling right now, because here it is, Wednesday, right? I don't know if you're this way, Jay, but I tend to be this way, and I work on it. I'm trying not to be this way, but especially if I'm somewhere really nice, like he's in Australia. This is the end of his second week. About this point of my vacation, I start thinking, how many days left now? We got to go home pretty soon. It's a terrible way to think, you know? It's a terrible way to think, but he probably is already looking at it going, man, I got to go home pretty soon.
I know. It's money, as they say, money seen, money gone.
Yeah.
Because you're looking at it, you're like, man, I felt 2 weeks ago, I was just getting ready, prepared for my vacation.
Yep.
Now I'm 2 days out from it being ended.
Yep. On the other hand, you know, he's thinking, man, I get to go back to Jay and Whitey and Campio and everybody on the chat and on the text line. So I'm sure he's looking forward to that.
You know that I kid with my wife about this because, you know, my wife she does this quite a bit. We're on vacation, and what you said, it's like 1 day, 2 days left, all the time, to the T. You know what we should do, honey? What's that, Beck? We should stay another day.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
She's a stay another day type of young lady all the time. It's like, babe, we got to go home tomorrow. We should stay another day.
Yeah.
Let me see what we can do.
I got that in me, too.
That's you, too,
you know,
huh?
Like, hey. And then even if you try, it's like, well, you can't get a room.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me see how I can manipulate the flight, see how much it's going to cost me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I would bet you, if not today, then by Friday, Kyle Draper's going to be thinking, is there any way I could stay another week?
Absolutely. Especially if you're in Australia.
Yeah.
Bali, Singapore.
Especially if somehow, some way the Cowboys beat the Eagles.
Ooh.
He's not going to want to
He ain't
come
coming
home
back, huh? To the next game?
Yeah. Yeah.
Be interesting.
So, yeah, he should be back with us on Monday. Tomorrow the season starts. Yeah, and we've got the opener, the Eagles and the Cowboys here on Sacktown Sports. And, of course, we have the 49ers. We also have that game Friday, which is what, in Brazil, Jay?
Yes, sir.
Chiefs and the Chargers.
Chargers?
Yeah. This is the first step in the Chargers' journey back to the Super Bowl for the first time in many years. Justin Herbert going to outduel Mahomes.
Are you attaching your wagon to the Chargers?
Wagon's here. And here's the Chargers. I'm this close, Jay. I'm pulling.
You got the axle close?
Yes. And I'm like, I'm really close. I'm really close.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
But, I think they're going to be a playoff team. But you look at the upper crust in the AFC, and it seems like it's just like it's inaccessible. Buffalo, Baltimore, Kansas City, and then who else? Who's going to be the fourth team in there this year? I don't know, maybe Cincinnati. I don't know, but it's a quite a leap for any other team to say, oh, we're going to be up there with those three teams. So I don't know if the Chargers are there yet, but I think they're going to have a good season.
Well, they need to start with their own division.
Yeah.
Which is Kansas City. How about you take over your own division before you try to take over the conference?
Yeah. They had a piece today, Cynthia Freeland, NFL.com, and she does everything through analytics. And so she had something today. She's projecting the ceiling and the floor for each team. Now, it's just numbers. It's just formulas. It doesn't necessarily mean anything. But speaking of the AFC West, I think she has the Raiders ceiling at like 8.4. I mean, not even at 9 as their ceiling.
I think a lot of people are enamored by the Raiders because of Pete Carroll.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when you take a step back and look at what their roster looks like, their depth chart looks like, people are saying, they probably could be a 9-win team.
Mm-hmm.
But I also could see the Raiders being the Raiders. And I think as we're talking about the wagons right there and you're close, I think a lot of people feel the same way with the Raiders. Like they're this close and Pete Carroll helps them out this much.
Yeah.
But I got to see it before I can say, hey, the Raiders going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah. Have you seen the numbers, Gino Smith's numbers in dome stadiums? And I know Alan and Kyle were talking about this. It's something I wasn't aware of, and I heard them talking about it. They're going to play, I think the number's 11 games indoors this year. The Raiders, of course, they play at home in a dome. And if you look at Gino Smith's numbers in a dome, wow, Jay, he is a top-flight quarterback indoors. Top-flight quarterback in terms of his numbers. And so they're going to play a lot of indoor games this year. Look out for Gino this year. If that trend holds, he's going to be an excellent quarterback. He's going to have a great year.
I think he's an above average QB. I think he's a very serviceable quarterback. I know that sometimes can be a slight or a little bit of disrespect. I think he's in the third tier, which is, like I said, above average.
Mm-hmm.
You got superstar, then, here we go with Mike Sando's QB rankings. And then I think you have the just below, can be an all-pro, have a good year, can jump up to the MVP. And then I think you have this person is a NFL quarterback. And I think Gino is in that third tier. He's going to have some great games. And then I think there's going to be one or two times where it's like, Gino, what in the hell are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see that at all. And you saw something completely different. And to be honest, ever since his reinvention of who he's become, going to Seattle, I think prior to that, you might can throw out some of his film and some of his tape, but coming to Seattle, and I'll just grade him on that, I think he does a very good job of keeping his team above water. I'm not the type of person to believe Gino's the type of person that can go win a game all the time, but I do think he's going to keep you amongst the trees. He won't steer you too far. He's going to give you opportunity to win. I hear all of that jazz. The fact of the matter is, though, is this. He's going to have, I think, an above-average season. That's my opinion. I get the fact that they're playing in the Legion and they have some other games in the Dome. I think he's just a good quarterback, and we have to start calling him, and it hurts my heart, too, because he went from the Seahawks to the Raiders, and I have to give him his just due. I think he's a good quarterback, though. Like, he is a good middle-tier NFL quarterback.
Yes. The thing that is most impressive to me is, and we saw this last year, of course, against the 49ers, there are some quarterbacks who are about that level who are good, but then once they get behind, you feel like, I don't think so. Gino can light it up. He can bring a team from behind. He is capable of that. He's not going to do it every time.
Yeah.
He's not John Elway. He's not Joe Montana.
Right.
But he's capable. He's not limited. He can still air it out even when his team's behind.
Yeah. I'm with you. That's what I said. I think he's an above-average quarterback. I think he's a good NFL quarterback.
Cynthia Freeland, by the way, the Raiders, she has ceiling 8.7, floor 6.2.
It's about right.
See, like the ceiling, like that's the best they could be.
You think the Raiders can win more than 10 games?
Well, if I'm projecting their ceiling,
come on, Whitey.
I'd at least give them a 9.
I will say this: you have surprised me over the last week of some of the teams that I feel that you're rooting for, or at least not. Maybe rooting is not the proper word because I don't want to go that far saying you're rooting for the Giants. I know some of it is to kick back on me, but you have a positive outlook on some teams that I would have never thought you would wrap your lips up to say good things about.
Really?
Yes.
Like the Raiders?
Yes.
I don't usually say good things about the Raiders.
Right, which is what you think the Raiders can win 10 games?
Well, again,
ceiling. That's the ceiling. You think they have a ceiling of 10 games?
To me, if you have, well, look at this. The Rams, she has 9.1 as their ceiling. 49ers 9.6. So it looks like her numbers
graded on the curve.
Depressed. Yeah. Actually, pardon me. 49ers ceiling, she has, I said that wrong.
Okay.
She's projecting 9.6. Ceiling for the 49ers, 12.9.
Yeah, that's the ceiling.
And the Rams also 12.9.
That's the ceiling.
The floor for the 49ers is 8.7, which is higher than the Raiders'
ceiling. Have you truly, like you said, Kyle and Alan had talked about the Raiders playing in the Dome. So I'm going to just take a look. They're at New England this week, right? Yeah, okay. You got Los Angeles at home in the Dome, at Washington. That's amongst the weather, the conditions, versus Chicago at home. All right, Indianapolis, that's in the Dome. Tennessee is in the Dome, at Kansas City. Jacksonville's at home, at Denver. So that's the conditions. You play Dallas at home, Cleveland at home. Then you go to L.A., which is in the Dome, Denver at home, in the Dome, at Philadelphia, at Houston, which is in the Dome, Giants at home, and then Chiefs. They do have some Dome games. You're absolutely right. Man, that ticket right now, Monday, November 17th, Ticketmaster, they take on the Cowboys at Allegiant Stadium. And you know the Dallas Cowboy fans are rocking and rolling. They probably already got their tickets to the Vegas. $522 is the lowest ticket price.
Yikes.
Woo.
One more football note. I'm glad Kyle's not here for this. Did you see what the commissioner said about the Super Bowl halftime show?
I didn't. I missed that.
He made some reference to you-know-who. Boy, it'd be great if she played. Okay. And someone said, is that an announcement? And he said, well, not yet. I can't say anything. So nothing's official, but the commissioner suggested it's a possibility that Tay-Tay is going to be playing halftime of the Super Bowl.
Shouts out for all the Taylor Swift fans.
Yeah.
There you go.
Massive Super Bowl numbers, right? I mean, even by Super Bowl standards, if they do that.
It'd be the same. And ain't nothing going to change.
No, so that would be, I mean, they show her at the game and the numbers go up. She's there watching the game and they have higher ratings. If she's performing at halftime, huge record ratings for the Super Bowl.
Yet again, another example of you wrapping your lips up for some positivity for a team for a person or a team I would have never thought.
I'm not saying she should get great. No, I'm just saying you look at
the
way people respond.
Yeah.
Of course, the game is going to be Arizona against the Raiders. So, that might It's not going to be a huge draw.
What happened to your Chargers?
Chargers losing to the Raiders in the just like the old days. Yeah, in the AFC
Championship.
Yeah.
Real fast, Raiders. Here we go.
Yeah.
At New England, win or loss?
Win.
Chargers at home.
Oh, you can't. No, Chargers are too good.
At Washington.
They'll lose.
The Bears at home.
I think they'll beat the Bears.
At Indianapolis.
Win.
Versus Tennessee at home.
Win.
At KC.
Loss.
So you got them at 4-3 through the first. Then they hit the bye week.
Mm-hmm.
Take on Jacksonville at home.
Win.
At Denver.
Loss.
5-4.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas comes Monday, November 17th.
Cowboys going to get spanked.
Ooh, 6-4.
Yeah.
6-4 through their first 10.
Yeah, looking good.
Ah.
Pete Carroll, Coach of the Year candidate.
Cleveland at home.
That's a
7-4.
Yeah.
At the Chargers.
Nope.
So they lose both games to the Chargers this year. Ooh, Denver at home.
Win.
At Philadelphia.
Loss.
At Houston.
Win.
You have the wow. Against the Giants.
Win.
KC.
I got to go back. The Houston, they'll lose.
You got the Raiders winning 11, 12 games?
I don't think so. We're not done yet.
You're already there. Let's count them all over. Okay. Through the first 10, you have them at 6-4.
Okay.
That's the Dallas game.
Yeah.
Okay. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay.
Some of this, we're having fun.
I understand.
We're having fun on the radio.
Cleveland.
Win.
All right. 7-4.
Yeah.
At the Chargers.
Loss.
7-5. Denver.
That's in
Allegiant.
Yeah. That's a
you had
loss.
to win. Okay. So they lose twice to Denver this year, too.
Yeah.
Okay.
They lose to Houston.
7 at Philadelphia.
That's a loss.
At Houston.
That's a loss.
Giants.
Win.
KC.
They're going to win that one.
So you got them going 9-8.
There you go.
But you're arguing Freeland's ceiling.
She had 8.7. You got to at least give him a 9, I said. You got to at least give him a 9. We're very close.
I got you. It sounds like both of you and Miss Freeland are right on the same boat.
Yeah. Is she, I know she does some radio. She's a good guest, but she does a lot of TV too. I don't know if she's available. But
I don't know. We can try. Everybody's available for Whitey Gleason.
She's good because it's a lot of numbers, but she can present them in a way that doesn't make you get an ice cream headache. How about Kyle Shanahan today, Jay? Talking to the media. And, this whole situation between the 49ers and Jawan Jennings has been full of intrigue. Jawan Jennings requested a trade. Wow, we didn't know that was going to happen, but he was still going to show up. Well, he showed up, but he had the calf injury. And then he had some posts on social media, of course, suggesting he was not happy with the way this is being handled. John Lynn said, we're not going to trade him. Now, all of a sudden, a couple days ago, he shows up. Well, Monday, right? Was it Labor Day? And he's out there and he's laboring. He's back at practice.
Yep.
And he looks great. And now we have Kyle Shanahan saying some wonderfully glowing things about him today, right, Jay?
Obviously, there's been plenty of talk about his contract situation and everything. Can you say if there's any sort of resolution as far as the business side of things?
No, I don't think there's totally resolution. It's the business side. I think I said at the beginning of training camp how badly myself and everyone in this building wants Jawan back in the long term. We want Colton McKivitz back. Those are two guys that we really hope to keep here. But they're both going into their contract year, and nothing's ever final, but we'll see how it plays out. But there's a business side to both sides, but it's something that I think both sides would love to get worked out. Just don't know if we can.
I got to tell you, that sounds different than it reads.
Very true.
Jay?
Very, very true.
Yeah.
That's why I said we got to hear the sound more than the quote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our SF 49ers on X said, Kyle Shanahan noted that Jawan Jennings and Colt McKivitz are two players the team wants to retain long-term. That's not what I heard him say.
No.
Well, we'd love to do that if it worked out.
Business-wise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Business move, football. Football side, we love to keep them, but business-wise, it's going to be a little more difficult.
Those things are, well, we'd love to do it. I'm sure both sides would love to get something worked out.
Yeah, that didn't sound like he was for sure about it.
A lot more non-committal there from what he actually said. By the way, speaking of receivers, you see Marquez Valdez-Scantling is on the active roster for this.
He is. They put Russell Gage Jr. They waived him. He passed through waivers. They re-signed him to the practice squad. And Marquez Valding Scantling, MVS, is a part of the 53-man roster. And we said, we heard this last week, right? We saw a bunch of the Vic Tafers and the Nick Wagoneers and the Matt Barrows and the Matt Mayokos and the Jennifer Lee Chans and all those people talk about how they're going to kind of play Tetris with their roster. They're going to try to flip-flop it and make things work and put, position people in certain spots. And so not to be surprised, I would be interested to see if they try to jump up Russell as quick as possible, especially knowing that they have, some players who may be close to injury when it comes to wide receiver. I'm not exactly sure how healthy Jawan Jennings is. Not exactly sure how healthy Cowing, looks. So we'll see. Is MVS up on the play calling yet? On the plays?
Right. If we throw it to you, catch it. That's the play.
There it was.
Because he's going to be a deep threat, right?
Yeah.
Maybe more of a deep threat than they've had in a while. For all the focus that we've done, or that I've done anyway, on the receivers and the health of the receivers, and also on the kicking game, I think the two biggest keys for the 49ers this year are going to be how quickly the young defense matures, if they do it all. The optimistic way would be to say, how quickly will they mature? Maybe they won't, but if they do, how soon does that happen? At what point does the defense become a unit that they can rely upon week to week? Then the other thing is the health of Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
And by all accounts, he looks great, but we'll see. Just a year ago, members, he's got a little sore calf, but he should be okay. Next thing you knew, he's out. He barely played at all. But if he's healthy, and everyone says he is, and the defense can mature and grow and come together, I think they're going to have a really good season.
I'm with you. I truly think the season depends on CMC's health. I actually really think it depends on, as most other seasons throughout the NFL will, is the quarterback. Brock Purdy's got to play like Brock Purdy. He's got to bring it every single week.
Hand off,
Just
Jay.
do what he's
doing. They're not even going to throw any passes this year.
Yeah.
They have no wide receivers. Run.
Well,
McCaffrey Robinson. Throw it. Okay, but throw it to use check.
No George Kittle action.
And the 49ers win 13-10.
Y.A. Tittle style, huh?
And this is football 1A. You run the ball as they like to do, and the more I have the football, the less time my defense is on the field. So there's that too. If you run the ball effectively, you actually protect your young defense until it starts to mature.
I looked at the depth chart, and it looks like MVS is in front of Sky Moore now.
Oh, yeah?
You see that? Yeah.
I didn't see that.
It's interesting because Sky Moore was here way before, as I say, way before, a week or two before MVS. And now it looks like Sky Moore may be the fourth wide receiver. And on top of that, you have Jordan Watkins, who's questionable, right? So I'm not exactly sure what this wide receiver depth chart is going to look like heading into. I know we have a depth chart, but it just switched already within 24 hours. So I'm not exactly sure who's going to be out there beside Triggy Ricky P and Jawan Jennings. Who's that third wide receiver? I'm a little interested in that too, because I think that plays a part in. Looks like Triggy Ricky P and Jawan Jennings going to be on the outside. Is MVS starting in the slot? Is that your slot guy?
You might be, huh?
Wow.
Or can't I have I can have Jennings in the slot, can't I? And then have MVS. I have Ricky Pearsall and Well,
guess what? Shanahan, scheme him up, baby.
Yeah, that's
scheme
right.
him up.
That's right.
You were considered the best in schemes.
That's right. That's right. Let's see it. Jay, here are my 5 juiciest NFL Week 1 matchups. Juicy, I mean like the most drama.
Okay.
I can't wait to see that one. I do have 49ers Seahawks on the list because there is kind of the dying embers of that rivalry, but there's still something of a rivalry, and there's a lot of intrigue here because there are two teams that are trying to prove, we're still for real. We're still legit. So some of it is just local bias, but I have that at number 5.
Okay.
Number 4, it's the Monday night game. You can hear that here in Sacktown Sports. The Vikings and the Bears. And the Bears obviously are trying to prove, this is it. This year, we're really good. And the Vikings, I think they're the first team ever to win 14 games and then come back the next year with a quarterback who's never played. I don't think any team has ever done that before. So that'll be interesting. And that is that, NFC North rivalry. Number 3, I am really looking forward to this game. The Steelers at the Jets. And I know you can easily say, who cares? Both those teams are terrible. The Steelers could be okay. But, Jay, this is Fields against Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers against the Jets. The Steelers are trying to prove that they're still the Steelers. They're trying to keep that window to, relevance open. And Aaron Rodgers is trying to prove that he can still play in this league. After Tom Brady said 2 days ago, Aaron Rodgers in his prime was the best thrower of the football ever.
Yeah, I don't know what the GOAT was talking about on that one.
You don't agree with that?
Nah, far from.
Best passer of the football ever.
Better than Marino?
Better than Peyton? Better than Archman?
Oh, man.
Okay, batting second. But Steelers, Jets, I could understand pushback on that. To me, that's there's some juice there. What do you think? No?
I hear where you're going.
Okay.
I'm not a Aaron Rodgers guy, so I'm kind of locked out on, it is what it is. It's like Draper says, everybody goes one way, I go the other when it comes to Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
He doesn't really, stoke my fire. So it's kind of one of those things where Aaron Rodgers playing click, move on, let's go.
2, the second juiciest matchup in week 1, Lions at Packers.
That's a good one.
Uh-huh.
That's a good one.
The Lions are assuming they are still one of the big dogs or big cats in the NFC. And a lot of experts think, they're going to slide a little bit this year against the freaking Packers with Micah Parsons. Come on.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I think that I'm surprised that's not number 1. I was really trying to look, then I said, must be this game.
Yeah. So
the double B's.
Ravens at Buffalo.
Yeah, that's a hell of a game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a fantastic game. And, as I sit here and I look at week 1, and I've looked at the schedule numerous times, but now because we're here and it is time, it's go time.
Mm-hmm.
The KC, as much as I can't stand watching the Chiefs for good reason. The Chiefs Chargers is a good game to kick off.
Yeah.
You can hear it right here, of course, Friday.
I don't like that they're kind of tricking up a divisional game of that magnitude in Brazil.
San Pablo.
Okay. Yeah.
And then even tomorrow's game, which you can hear right here on Sports 1140. Dallas at Philadelphia, defending champ. You got Dallas. People always pay attention. The Tampa Bay Atlanta game. I know it doesn't do a lot for other people. I'm super excited to see what Michael Penix Jr. is going to do. That's my surprise team. I love Tampa. I love Baker. I got an affinity for them. And then the other one, too, that really caught my eye, doesn't really register, but, man, somebody's going to get off to a terrible start. Carolina at Jacksonville. 2 quarterbacks that need to win. Bryce Young came on a little bit at the end. A lot of people are, they're surprised. They want to see what it is he's going to bring to the table. Trevor Lawrence, I mean, if anybody is up on Trevor Lawrence, please raise your hand. Everybody is completely down on Trevor Lawrence. He needs a bounce back season by the gracious side of football, by the
gods. Last chance to prove that he's more than just some guy.
Oh, come on, man. The gods need to bless him at this point, the NFL gods. So I'm interested to see Carolina Jacksonville. I get it. If you're not a Jacksonville fan, you don't care about Carolina, but I'm interested to see the 2 young quarterbacks go at each other.
Yeah. In the old days when they had really lousy games on Thursday Night Football, I know week 1's different, but that would have been – I feel like Jacksonville and Tennessee play.
They own Thursdays?
75% of the Thursday night games for a period there. It's like every other week. And it'll be Tennessee at Jacksonville. And in 2 weeks, Jacksonville at Tennessee on Thursday Night Football.
Jacksonville welcomes Cleveland.
Yes. A lot of teams from the South, AFC and NFC South, would play on Thursday Night Football, the NFC-AFC South game of the week. All right, when we come back, there's a team, going to talk a little Kings here, team that might take on any player the Kings wanted to give them, but the price is still very steep. And maybe this is why a total tank job is off the map for the Kings. We'll look at that when we come back to Sacktown Sports.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity. Introducing the 5-year price guarantee. One internet price, 5 years guaranteed. Well, perhaps hidden in the attention given to rookies like Nick Kurtz and Jacob Wilson has been the play of outfielder Colby Thomas. Thomas, a third-round pick out of Mercer University, in his first 61 at-bats this year, 4 doubles, 4 home runs, and 13 RBIs.
Welcome to Dugout Radio, the undisputed home of Boomtown Baseball.
The Wi-Fi is booming with Xfinity, baby. Our next caller is Stacy. How do you stay locked in on every pitch and play?
We stream it all live on Xfinity Internet with low lag, 99.99% network reliability, and speeds faster than a base runner beating the throw to home plate.
I stream on my TV, tablets, even my smart fridge. Smart fridge?
With all those games, we gotta refuel.
Stream live baseball with Wi-Fi built for the biggest moments. Xfinity. Restrictions apply. Actual speeds vary, not guaranteed.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Low Cash, Vincent Mason, and Avery Anna. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with RVs of Sacramento and the Sled Museum of Science and Curiosity. Tickets at CITPFest.com. Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Low Cash, Vincent Mason, and Avery Anna. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with RVs of Sacramento and the Sled Museum of Science and Curiosity. Tickets at CITPFest.com.
Attention taxpayers. If you owe $5,000 or more and have missed another tax deadline, you're officially on the IRS's radar. The IRS has resumed aggressive collections. That means wage garnishments, bank levies, even seizures of your home, car, or retirement accounts. If you owe $5,000 or more and missed the deadline, you're stacking new debt on top of what you already owe. Call Priority Tax Relief now. Their experts fight back fast and are saving their clients millions in tax debt every month.
I owed over $50,000 and they settled it for pennies on the dollar. These guys are as legit as they come.
After speaking on my behalf with the IRS, my entire debt of $25,000 will be eliminated.
Whether you've received collection letters or you're already facing liens and garnishments, call for your free consultation. There are no upfront fees. Priority Tax Relief. Let's make your taxes our priority. Call 800-406-1584. 800-406-1584. 800-406-1584.
Priority Tax Relief.
Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with primetime football. It's back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high-hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-838-6767. That's 800-838-6767.
We need to declare this a national holiday. We're going to call this Players Holiday.
Your afternoon home for Kings Talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
The NBA may have a big problem brewing here. You heard the story today, Pablo Tori on Pablo Tori Finds Out, reporting that Kawhi Leonard may have accepted $28 million to do nothing from a shadow company that Steve Balmer created a company so he could pay Kawhi Leonard's through that and then circumvent the salary cap. That's what Pablo Tori is saying. The NBA says they are looking into it. They're aware of the allegations. So nothing has been proven. It's possible that this is not an accurate report. We don't know. But if it is an accurate report, it begs, among other things, the question, well, who else is doing that? And how big of a can of worms could that be for the NBA? We're speculating. Again, I know that Dave mentioned that today, but Pablo Tori was on with Dan Patrick today. And we don't have that yet, do we, Jay? Yeah, we do have. Okay. Pablo Tori was asked who we might be looking at next, and this is a very interesting response.
The talk, once the first, person gets outed, now all of a sudden it feels like it's safe to out other people.
Yeah. The difference here, and by the way, it's funny, like my tip line has never been more used by enemies of Jalen Brunson, right? Like look into that one, right? As well as, James Harden.
Is there something in there with Jalen Brunson?
Well, look, how he arrived at the Knicks, this is where I will have to defer to the reporting I may or may not do on this. Certainly was interesting, right? Like, okay, that's a pretty good deal for the Knicks. Has some whatever. Anyway, I don't want to get ahead of myself in terms of
that's a tease, though. That's a tease.
It's a bit of a tease.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm showing a little ankle with you. I always show a little bit more ankle than I should.
How about that? I love the way you phrase it. I have to defer to the reporting I may or may not do on that. What does that mean, Jay?
Sound like he witch hunting.
Well,
I don't know, Whitey. I want my Kyle Draper on this one. I might go against that because I think, again, like we heard the Shanahan comment. That's not really what I got from the byline of what it was said.
Mm-hmm.
But I got you.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully Pablo ain't getting ready to start witch hunting, though.
Well, it was a good question.
Yeah,
first
of course,
off, from Dan Patrick.
Absolutely.
But it's also interesting because Pablo Tori starts to talk about Jalen Brunson. Then did you hear who else he mentioned there before Dan Patrick followed up on Brunson? He mentioned James Harden.
And
then he also said something else, and I can't make out what he said.
Hear it again. You want to hear it again?
I don't know if he mentions other names.
Person gets outed. Now all of a sudden it feels like it's safe to out other people.
Yeah. The difference here, and by the way, it's funny, like my tip line has never been more used by enemies of Jalen Brunson, right? Like look into that one, right? As well as, James Harden.
Is there something in there with Jalen Brunson?
Well, look,
They said all those other rumors from the past.
Yeah. To your point, Jay, I think I agree with you. That is, I agree with you if I understand what you're saying. If you're maybe not even going to do the reporting and follow up, why mention Jalen Brunson?
Yeah, why throw the name out there?
Yeah.
Because it makes it as if there's something there. There's some smoke behind it.
You're casting aspersions on that when you might say, I don't even know if I'm following up on that.
Right, that's why I said I don't want it to sound like he's witch hunting. Excuse me, I don't want it to come across that way. And that's not the way he is bringing it to the table, but I kind of get a feeling of that, and I could be wrong. My feeling could be completely off. I just don't want that to start to happen.
No, I understand that.
If you don't have anything permanent, concrete.
But this could be a real can of worms for the NBA.
Definitely.
If this is the type of thing that goes on a lot with kind of and the NBA is aware of it, it's like, okay, ultimately it's good for the business overall.
Yeah.
Then they don't want people shining a light on some of these illicit deals.
Yeah, I would say this, though. I think
when I say illicit, I mean in violation of the
bylaws,
law and letter rules. Yeah.
The collecting bargaining agreement.
Yeah. The letter of the law, I should say.
Yeah, there you go. No, I got you.
Yeah.
I would I could definitely see this opening a can of worms, Whitey. And let me also say this for the people who would get aroused from the fact that, look, the NBA is going to come crashing down, or we're going to get to the nitty gritty of the situation. No doubt about it. It would be great banter, it'd be great conversation, and what's right is right. Yes. I would love to see some of the wrongs be righted if there are some things behind closed doors. But it gets a little grayish. That area gets a little grayish when we start to cast aspersions on, James Harden and Jalen Brunson, or and I really thought he meaning Pablo Tori was kind of tongue in cheek with it and played around with it a little bit. It's like, a lot of people, I've never seen so many people come at me when it comes about Jalen Brunson and how he was signed with the Knicks. And he's like James Harden and all those rumors there too. So Pablo is definitely a journalist who is paying attention to where the smoke is. But man, don't start to go, Salem witch hunting.
The other thing is he's not accusing anybody of doing anything illegal.
No, he didn't.
This is just people who may be violating the terms of the NBA, CBA. And the NBA, it's their own rules. It's not law.
Private.
Yeah. So they just got to figure out how they want to extricate themselves from this. One thing I would do is if I were the NBA is I would make sure my lawyers alerted everyone that if you're going to say anything like this, you better know what you're talking about. Just kind of, to warn people off of it.
Yeah.
Because that kind of speculation, while understandable from the league standpoint, it doesn't do them any good. This is a league that already are still struggling, let's be honest, with the notion that the officiating may not be on the up and up. I'm not saying it's not, but, they still struggle with that. That's why they have a whole stupid 2-minute rule. So if you have people then starting to wonder about, the league is that the officials and then these deals they make, they just don't need that headache.
Yeah, I think it's a great point in the form of what you're saying is their legal team should definitely jump in front of it and send out a memo to every single team, organization, and anybody else that might be a part of it, Players Association, the union, and say, listen, before you jump on anybody's podcast, film, social network, your own show, anything, make sure you are on the up and up and you know what you're talking about. And if you don't, just close your mouth and give us a call.
Oh, by the way, Jay, pardon me for jumping back over to football, but
do you
from
think?
530, somebody's coming after you. Not coming after you, but
yeah, for sure.
Jay is hating on Rodgers. Look at the tape. Nicest passer ever. His team's let him down, or he'd have 5 rings.
Well, first of all, that 530 number hates anything that I say. He's just a sucker when or she is a sucker when it comes to what I am. So just as much as I'm hating on Aaron Rodgers, they're hating on me. Yeah, absolutely. No, please, let's shoot it out. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers isn't the best passer ever. And if his squad...
You sure listen a lot.
I'll tell you that much. Yeah. And if Aaron Rodgers is the best passer ever, then he would have won more than 1 ring. And if everything was just on his team, then that probably, as they say, you point one finger, 4 come back at you. It's probably a little more than just with Aaron Rodgers passing. I'll just say this. The 49ers been deep in that tail of Aaron Rodgers. And ain't been that greatest pass. It ain't been the greatest pass that I've ever seen. So, hey, look, 530, Chico, got some lock in. Got you, bro.
Yeah.
Say no more.
This may not be fair, but I completely agree with it. Seth Jones 05 says, Pablo knows what he's doing. He's calculated. If he's going to mention names, he's got evidence. I don't know, but I tend to think you're right.
Well, he kind of said it, though. He's like, look, there's some rumors there.
Yeah.
And he talked about Jalen Brunson.
I'm going to defer to the reporting I may or may not do.
Yeah, man.
I agree with that. Pablo is not someone who would throw some out and then go, oh, man, I shouldn't have said that.
Dog. He might become like public enemy number 1 of the NBA soon. Because you can't jump around, Whitey, and start hunting and throwing out folks' business, even though it was bad business. Bad business, everybody got skeletons in their closet. It ain't a person walking in the world who don't got a skeleton jumping out that joint. Everybody got a Halloween day, So my thing is, Pablo gonna start hunting for people, James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, Uncle Dennis, Steve Balmer. Steve Balmer, man, there's a lot more folks that's powerful, more powerful than Pablo.
Hey, Pablo, somebody's at the front door. Who is it? Steve Balmer and Uncle Dennis? I'm not home.
Uncle D. Unc said, hey, listen, Steve, let's jump on one of those private jets that we asked for, and let me go ahead and jump on over to Pablo Tori.
Yeah. Oh, we'll come back with a look at the only team with cap space.
Let me go real fast, Whitey. I just want to know, who would be the one in the NBA where you were like, damn.
I can't say that because everything we just said. You want me
to can't witch hunt?
Yeah. I don't want to witch hunt, but
right.
Whitey. Name a witch for me.
Wicked Witch of the West. Who's the player in the league? You be like, oh man, he took $40 million on the back end for a brand new restaurant in Vegas.
I don't know, but honestly, I don't know if I'd be shocked by news of anybody doing that.
I'm probably with
you. Know what I mean?
But you don't have not one person that you pinpoint?
Oh, my God. I'm not going to say it on the radio. I'm going to call Pablo's tip line and leave it there. That's all.
Attaboy.
Yeah. If the Kings wanted to trade a veteran, they might have to call this team because they're the only team with cap space. Next on Sacktown Sports.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part, they accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
Let's go!
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Alan Stiles here with your Sacktown Sports Injury Update, brought to you by DTLA Law Group. Joey Estes, out with that herniated disc in his lower back, felt that back tightness after his last outing. The team will take a few days to evaluate his options for recovery. His expected return is TBD. Jacob Lopez, out with that grade 1 flexor strain. MRI results revealed a grade 1 strain, and manager Marcotte said he's hopeful he could return in a limited role before the end of the season. That was your Sacktown Sports Injury Update, brought to you by DTLA Law Group. Hey, I'm Alan Stiles. Injured at work? Call downtown. DTLA Law Group, California's leading injury law firm. With over 40 lawyers throughout California, they have won over $500 million in settlements. DTLA Law Group will get you compensation for your work injury. You don't pay unless they win. That's right. You pay zero up front. Call downtown. Text injury help to 40222. That's injury help to 40222. Visit them at calldowntown.com. Text charges may apply.
The deals are on now at the model year-end sales event at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? Save on year-end models and drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at folsomlakehonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Mint is still $15 a month for premium wireless. And if you haven't made the switch yet, here are 15 reasons why you should. 1, it's $15 a month. 2, seriously, it's $15 a month. 3, no big contracts. 4, I use it. 5, my mom uses it. Are you playing me off? That's what's happening, right? Okay.
Visit mintmobile.com/radio. Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, $15 per month equivalent required. New customer offer first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Wow, it's so good to finally be back home.
Is it me or is it musty?
Oh, damp. Check the bathroom.
Damp!
The basement?
Damp! Wait!
Yeah?
I'm ordering damp bread!
So we don't have to move?
Eliminate damp, musty smells by trapping excess moisture. Get rid of the damp with Damp Rid.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Low Cash, Vincent Mason, and Avriana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with RVs of Sacramento and the Sled Museum of Science and Curiosity. Tickets at CITPFest.com.
Hi, Sacramento. It's the No Surprise guys at Bell Brothers Plumbing. Need a water heater or plumbing repair? Call Bell Brothers. Clogged drain? We'll clear it for $67. plus a free camera inspection, a $250 value. We're fast, on time, and the price we quote is the price you pay. No surprises. Plus, we'll check your plumbing for free. Call Bell Brothers or book at thenosurpriseguys.com.
Drapes and Whitey. Whitey and Drapes. You know the pair. The Drive Guys.
All my life I've been searching for something. Something never comes, never leads to nothing. Nothing satisfies, but I'm getting closer to the ride at the end of the road. All night long I dream of the day when it comes around and it's taken away. And then the feeling that I feel the most. Feeling comes to life when I see your ghost. That's the rap over that intro.
Really?
Yeah, but I couldn't remember it all.
Oh boy, that was way more than I ever thought.
Yeah, it's a drive.
Little
guys.
Foo Fighters?
Foo Fighters, yes. Interesting comment here from the 916. Fellas, because we were just talking about, wow, you don't want this to become a witch hunt. Certainly. I'm laughing because Jay's like, we don't want it to be a witch hunt. Who do you think is guilty, Whitey?
I didn't say that.
Fellas, so should Pablo not report? Is it now okay to cheat? Fair question, but all I'm saying, I can't speak for Jay.
Yeah.
It's one thing for Pablo to say, look, this was going on and I have evidence. But then when someone asks him, are you looking into any other people? Then to say, well, maybe looking into this guy. To me, it's like, well, now maybe he has evidence. But all I'm saying is, wait, because you're basically casting aspersions on Jalen Brunson by saying that. I don't know if he should do that. But as someone pointed out in the chat, like, Pablo's not going to just throw names around. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he should not report. He should report, and he's done a great job since someone called him a fake reporter, huh?
Yeah,
he's been uncovering some nuggets.
He should definitely report. It is his job to do so.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, look, as much as I kid about other things, I proposed the question in the form of to Whitey, and I propose it to you, 916-339-1140. Would you feel okay if you started to hear bigger names? And I know, Kawhi Leonard's a big name in the NBA, but look above him, 30 names bigger than him probably at the moment. Would you be okay if that was your favorite team and or your favorite player and Pablo's looking into why he signed with your team? But definitely he should report it. That is his job. He should do his job.
And he's done a great job carving out that niche, and great for him. It's not just a niche of him going, hey, look at me, I'm silly, but like, I'm doing investigative work that no one else is doing.
Yeah. They doubled down and said Clips cheated, period. Too.
Yeah.
916 said the Clippers cheated.
Also from the 916, Jalen Brunson turned down $100 million. That needs to be investigated.
Oof.
I would guess that there's a good chance the NBA is kind of aware of some of these things, but they just didn't want to deal with them.
Well, sound like Pablo getting ready to.
Yeah.
And like, listen, let me check this hip and that hip, and I'm looking at my phone and my tablet and my laptop, and I might even sit in front of my desktop. I'm checking on everybody. And that in that clip that we talked about and we played, it's, well, there's a lot of Jalen Brunson hate out there, and that's got my attention. And on top of that, there's been some rumors surrounding James Harden for years. I'm paraphrasing, but that's the way I look at it. And no doubt, as Dan Patrick kind of, tongue in cheek, jokingly said, hey, so who's the next person you're hunting down? Sounds like Pablo's research is not done.
Right.
How about that?
Yes. If I were on Pablo's team and he asked me, well, how should we follow up on this? I would say, well, what you always do is you follow the money, right? You follow the money.
Yeah.
And if a team has been in violation of cap rules with one player, should we look into whether they were guilty of circumventing the cap with any other player? Wouldn't that be a logical extension of your your search.
Yeah, I would think so.
I'm choosing my words carefully.
I understand. I mean,
Yeah.
because all of it is alleged. Even the Kawhi Leonard, as much as they have it on black and white and documents in detail, Pablo and his team obviously felt like they had enough to come out. And, you know, as Antonio Ray Harvey likes to say, you know, journalistic integrity is a key.
Yes.
And so I take it as, and just looking at the background and the reputation of who Pablo Tori is, I don't really think he would move this hard, this swift, and be on Dan Patrick and, you know, his new show on The Athletic. I even seen Sam Amick, friend of the station, come out and say, Pablo's a new guy, you know, on our team on The Athletic, and he's shooting out not blanks.
Right.
He's shooting out fire. And so for him to go this far and his squad to go this far, I think they have a little something, you know, in store for the NBA. And if anybody else wants to come and contest the fact that Kawhi Leonard is, you know, planting trees.
All I'm saying is I think an investigative target now would have to be on the Los Angeles Clippers. If
The
you're
whole
looking into,
organization.
has anything
Ty
like
Lue.
this happened before?
Mm.
Well, that would be one thing you would check, right? That's just, I have no idea. It'd just be one thing you would check.
So you want to, if I hear you correctly, I'm sifting through here. You want to tear down the Clippers.
I want them to be penalized if, in fact, they've been in violation of the rules. That's what I want.
got you.
Yeah. But, you know, it's kind of like with the steroids in baseball. I don't think everybody that used steroids got caught. I think only some people did, which really isn't fair. So if there's a lot of teams involved in this, and maybe there's not, but I wonder how the league is going to sort that out and how they're going to, this has got to be a huge headache for the league right now. Maybe you would think, no, this is great information for the league, and now they're out in front of this and they can solve this problem. I'm too jaded to think that's how they're looking at it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm in the same boat. And I would venture to say they're probably looking at the calendar now. What's today?
Yeah.
When does the season start?
Yeah.
Spring training, media day. Like I'm pretty sure they're starting to look around and say, okay, look, it's too quiet right now. Something or someone, or maybe we need to do something. You know, we need to now. Is there an announcement we can put out right now? Press release, a memo?
Right.
You know, that will detour people's attention here from this. But again, the way Pablo Tori and his squad is going at it.
Yeah.
And we know how this goes, right? Brand new show hits the floor, which is what, PFTO?
Pablo Tori finds out.
Yeah.
PTFO.
PTFO.
Yeah.
Brand new.
That sounds like something dirty you say to somebody.
Yeah.
Like, hey, PTFO.
Or as these teenagers, these young guns, you know, man, I'm not even going to take over the show. I'm just going to say, me and my wife have had a conversation with my daughter about when we're texting, text line, family text thread and all that, and you're just sending PTFO.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the hell that means. I'm 40. I don't know what that is. And to be honest, right. I don't have damn time to try to figure out what that means. But anyway, I don't want to be sidetracked.
This isn't Wheel of Fortune.
Right.
I'm trying to decide if I should go pick you up or not.
Man, you should see some of the conversations over the last couple of weeks since school has started. But I do think brand new show comes out. You try to grab the attention and you drop what you possibly have, which is the biggest thing. And that's where Pablo Tori, no doubt, he's probably been sitting on it for a couple of weeks.
Yes. So we'll see what's next and what the NBA decides to do. Again, the NBA says we're looking into it, and the Clippers' official statement is we haven't done anything wrong and we can prove it. Real quick, because I mentioned this a couple times and hadn't gotten to it yet. The only team with cap space right now in the NBA is the Brooklyn Nets. And the Brooklyn Nets are in position where if they wanted, they could take on a contract and in addition take on a first-round draft pick for taking on the contract. That's something that they could do. The Kings might, if they were trying to get rid of a player, they might be able to do that with the Nets, but then you know, then you'd have to give up a first-round pick, and I don't think the Kings would have any interest in doing that. I mentioned that. It's like, well, why are you mentioning it if it's not going to happen? I think that speaks to what a difficult predicament the Kings are in when it comes to the possibility of, let's tank. Let's get rid of everybody. You have guys that nobody really wants that much. They're good players, but no one really wants them. If you had to spin off some of these bigger names and contracts, and if you had to attach a pick to get a team to do that, and you're trying to rebuild, you're kind of defeating the purpose. So I think that's one reason why, you know, I've heard people say, just get rid of everybody. It's like, well, if you can't really do that. If you have to give away a draft pick to get rid of a guy, that you want to get rid of so you can get more draft picks down the road. It doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense, Jay.
I see you, GM Gleason.
That's right. It's just going to take a while to extricate themselves from this current predicament. When we come back, speaking of predicaments, the 3 potential trouble spots on the 49ers roster. They are next on Sacktown Sports.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
All right, and for his 19th season, we're so happy to have him back, Matt Barrows. Good morning, Matt.
Morning, guys. How are you? You guys were talking about brisket. However, I apologize for interrupting your brisket discussion.
That was me.
You can listen to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 1140 a.m. YouTube or the Sacktown Sports app.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Need cash fast? Tap into the value of your home with a home equity line of credit from Valley Strong Credit Union. Whether it's for home improvements, debt consolidation, or that dream vacation, you can get your cash offer in minutes. That's right, just minutes to unlock the power of your home's equity with no hard credit pull to see how much cash you can get. No stress, no waiting, just smart local banking that puts you first. Grow your possibilities with Valley Strong Credit Union. Visit valleystrong.com to get started today.
It's taste on a whole new level at Sky River Casino. With 18 elevated restaurants, bars, and lounge destinations that include SR Prime Steakhouse, 32 Brews, Dragon Boat, and The Market. Just minutes from Sacramento, right off Highway 99 in Elk Grove. Join in the fun and experience the height of hospitality. Sky's the limit at Sky River Casino. Visit skyriver.com today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
People are coming from all over to Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, from Folsom, Elk Grove, Woodland, Roseville, because they've seen for themselves the huge selection and the best prices at sacksuperstore.com. Good luck finding a lower price anywhere else. And if you do, they'll match it. It's as simple as that. Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, where a handshake still means something. Open until 10 o'clock and centrally located right across from Hagen Oaks Golf Course. And online at sacksuperstore.com. The guaranteed lowest price and the best selection of Dodge, Chrysler, Jeeps, and Rams. sacksuperstore.com.
Attention taxpayers. If you owe $5,000 or more and have missed another tax deadline, you're officially on the IRS's radar. The IRS has resumed aggressive collections. That means wage garnishments, bank levies, even seizures of your home, car, or retirement accounts. If you owe $5,000 or more and missed the deadline, you're stacking new debt on top of what you already owe. Call Priority Tax Relief now. Their experts fight back fast and are saving their clients millions in tax debt every month.
I owed over $50,000 and they settled it for pennies on the dollar. These guys are as legit as they come.
After speaking on my behalf with the IRS, my entire debt of $25,000 will be eliminated.
Whether you've received collection letters or you're already facing liens and garnishments, call for your free consultation. There are no upfront fees. Priority Tax Relief. Let's make your taxes our priority. Call 800-406-1584. 800-406-1584. 800-406-1584.
Priority Tax Relief.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Mocash, Vincent Mason, and Abriana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with RVs of Sacramento and the Sled Museum of Science and Curiosity. Tickets at CITPFest.com.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports, 1140. Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Time to play Is That a Thing? And here's what we have, Jay. Before we get to the 49ers and 3 potential trouble spots on the roster, I've got sports fact here. There's a player who is on the verge of breaking a couple of records. But you know how records are these days. There are legitimate records like most career this or that. There's also these, the most by a guy on Tuesdays in November before age 28 and all those things. Some of these records that we salute now, they're not really a thing. So is this a thing? Your opinion. I think, well, I won't tell you how I would vote, but it's true, but is it something that matters? Patrick Mahomes, you know, we have the Chiefs and the Chargers for you on Friday from Brazil. And then, of course, we have the Eagles and the Cowboys tomorrow night. But Patrick Mahomes is closing in on 2 NFL records for touchdown passes. He could break them both in Friday night's opener against the Chargers. My question is this a thing? Are either one of these things worth anything? Do they make you go, wow? Or is it like, that is not a thing? Jay, Mahomes has 291 touchdown passes in his NFL career, 245 in the regular season, 46 in the postseason. He can break the records both for the most in his first 9 seasons and for the most before turning 30 years old. Those are the 2 records he can break. The records for the most touchdown passes in his first 9 NFL seasons and the most touchdown passes before turning 30 years old. Current record for most touchdown passes in a player's first 9 seasons is 293, set by Peyton Manning. Mahomes needs just 2 touchdown passes this season to tie Manning's record and 3 to break it. So, you know,
He'll break that.
Yeah. But is this a thing?
Sure.
Is it?
I mean, it's, you know, normally Jay would hate on Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs. But, I mean, it's not a big thing, but it's, you know, it's a feather in the cap.
Mm-hmm. Mahomes' 245 regular season touchdown passes, excuse me, are tied with Dan Marino for the most by any player before turning 30. Mahomes turns 30 on September 17th, so he needs to throw just 1 touchdown pass in either week 1 or week 2 to move ahead of Marino and own the record by himself. Is that a thing? Most touchdown passes before turning 30.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a...
You're being very charitable.
I am, because, you know, normally I would go against it, probably not the grain, but I just say anything. I almost said it, but I had to catch myself. It's like, as soon as you said, is this a thing? And Pat Mahomes, I was going to say, no, it's not. It's not. But
yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, it's not a over the top, oh my goodness, but I think it's a, for the Pat Mahomes fans, for the Kyle Ledbetters of the world, for the Jerry Reynolds of the world, to have their discussion or argument or barbershop talk on the sofa in the man cave, however you want to call it. It's one feather in the cap to say, well, you know, my guy had the most touchdowns before 30. When we're talking about who the GOAT is, who the greatest is, it's part of the conversation.
Mm-hmm. To me, it's more like a footnote. You know, if you attend a game as a member of the media, typically there are game notes.
Yep.
And sometimes these are, you know, online too, or in they used to have these things called newspapers. I'm sure you remember.
Never heard of them.
Yeah, a long time ago.
They're kind of like the same thing. Magazines? Is that what you call
There's
it?
Similarity.
Magazine? Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. You would subscribe to them. Yeah, and you would read them.
Kind of like
You're right.
a streaming app.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. This to me is like, oh, that'd be in the game notes. If I'm preparing the game notes and I find that nugget, put it in there in the bottom, you know, with all the little bullet points.
Yep.
Oh, okay. But to me,
Highlight it.
not really a thing. To me, it's just a footnote.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Nothing against him, but it's just like, you know, the records are most in a season, most in a game, most in a career. Those are the records.
Definitely. Not arguing that. But I do think it allows people, it's a conversational piece.
Yeah.
It's kind of like we were talking about Aaron Rodgers. I think he's not the greatest passer of all time. I don't think he has the best mechanics of all time.
Tom Brady says he is, so I got to go with what Tom Brady says over what you say, I think.
Yeah, you're right. He's the GOAT. But I do think it's something where you could say, well, you know, well, who do you think is the greatest? Oh, I got Tom Brady. Well, you know, my guy's Pat Mahomes. He's got the most touchdowns before 30. And I think it is as you said, a footnote within a conversation. Yeah. But it's not as you said, most touchdowns in a season, most touchdowns ever.
Right. Yeah.
Most touchdowns in one game.
Right. And a half even.
Yeah.
Dan Marino never gets mentioned as the best quarterback ever. Maybe he shouldn't. Do you think that's because he never won a Super Bowl?
Yes.
Is that really?
Absolutely. 100% why. If Marino, and I'm glad he didn't because would have beat the Niners, but if he'd won one Super Bowl, oh yeah, he's already one of the greatest. And I think when you talk to people, even now, you talk to this generation of analysts, they always throw in, and I think this is the conversation Tom Brady was having, is pure passer, talented as far as throwing the ball. Dan Marino's in the conversation. Truly, truly is. And I think the one thing for me is, and people can argue this, or whoever, Duper, Clayton, all those type of people, OJ McDuffie, he did a lot more with a lot less. Like, was there any time, and you tell me, because I was an 85, I barely was here. Was he ever on a team?
I was 50.
Yeah.
I just turned 50 when Marino and the Dolphins played the 49ers at Stanford Stadium.
I was 50. You're already a grandpa. Huh? Was there ever a time where people were like, the Dolphins are picked to win the Super Bowl? Not be one of the teams to be in the running, but you know what? It's theirs to win. Like, there's always one or two or three teams. We could probably say Buffalo this year, KC, Philadelphia, maybe one or two more I may be forgetting. Baltimore. You need to win the championship this year.
Yeah.
Like, there's always a handful of teams. Was Miami ever one of those?
They were, as I recall, and I have to look it up, there was that period there, late 80s into the early 90s. They were, I would say, a perennial contender. I think that was 85, right? And 86. Yep. The Patriots went to Super Bowl, got destroyed by Bears. What I will say is, not to dodge your question, but when Dan Marino went to that Super Bowl in year 2?
I think that was year 2. Yeah.
And he said, it's like, well, I assumed I'd be going a lot more. And he never did, never got back.
Right.
Yeah. I think that was a period where the AFC there's a lot of good teams. It's pretty balanced. You have the Raiders in there. Seattle's pretty good some of those years. Cleveland, Denver. There was just a lot of pretty good teams. A very balanced conference, as I recall, without going back and looking it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess
so they were one of the really good teams, but never head and shoulders above everybody else.
Right. Who's the, we'd have to break down rosters or whatever. I don't want to detour what you're going to ask, but truly, did he ever play with just another great? Where it's like, man, that dude was spectacular.
Huh. Yeah, not off the top of my head. Those receivers were, the Clayton and Duper, the Marks brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
they're good, but not, they were great, but not star great, right?
Right. And I'm not remembering, like, Bernie Parmalee, who was his back, who were the backs that, and I know I'm forgetting people.
Sure.
Yeah. They were really good teams. Yeah. So he gets kind of downgraded for that, perhaps, because, he didn't win the Super Bowl and he's a quarterback, so he can't be that good.
That's right.
Yeah.
According to the 530, Aaron Rodgers, same thing. So they're in the same boat.
Yeah. But Aaron does have the one.
He does have the one.
That we know of. He could get another one this year. The steel curtain.
And is that Packers slipped in on the Deshaun Jackson punt return, right? The Giants kicked to the Eagles. Deshaun ran it back and allowed the Packers to get into the playoffs for the wild card. Isn't it that year? And they ran the table.
Don't even remember where my car is parked. Yeah. So I'm gonna nod and hope.
Let me help you.
Yeah.
Let me help you get to your car. Yeah. But I believe that's the year Deshaun Jackson ran the punt back. The Giants kicked to him. It's like, don't kick it to him.
Oh, yeah.
Kicked it to him at the end. He ran it back in and allowed the Packers to make it to the playoffs, the last spot in the wild card. And they ran it. They ran it, give them their love. But honestly, like as talented as Aaron Rodgers is, he's definitely overhyped in the fact of who he is as a quarterback. That's just my take.
Yeah. Dan Marino had a gun. That's the thing that stands out. And they ran a much more vertical attack than I remember. There was some April Fool's joke around that time, 80, whatever. Oh, Joe Montana's getting traded for Dan Marino. And, so, oh, really? No, it's April Fool's joke, and it's a stupid one. Neither team would want to do that. Dan Marino on the 49ers, it wouldn't fit their offense, and Joe Montana didn't fit the Miami offense either.
Short.
Yeah.
49ers, quick,
49ers
accurate.
5-yard handoff.
Yes, sir. Roger Craig.
Dan Marino took shots.
Man, he had a bazooka. I mean, a pure bazooka on his right shoulder.
Somebody asked me once, they said, do you work here? Could I get some fries? And I said, no, I don't work here. But someone asked me once, who does Mahomes remind me of all the quarterbacks that I've seen, for what that's worth?
Really?
And the guy that came to mind, and this was a couple of years ago, Mahomes wasn't quite where he is now, but he'd probably won. I think he'd won his first one on his way to a second. And John Elway was the one that came to mind.
Really?
Yes. And Patrick Mahomes is way better than John Elway, but the athleticism, I think maybe because they both played baseball, some of the different throws, and also Elway would get out there and he'd do some damage with his legs. He didn't nearly accomplish as much as Mahomes till the end of his career when he won the 2 Super Bowls, but that's the guy that comes to mind to me if there's anybody that Mahomes reminds me of.
Yeah. The first one that always comes to my mind, and as you said, he's way better, has way more success, but just the characteristics, the fluidity of how he looks is Randall Cunningham. Like Randall was kind of one of those guys that was before his time, if that's what you want to say, but Pat Mahomes kind of looks like him to me. From what I remember as a young man watching Randall Cunningham, they used to call him the Black God. Like that was one of the things in our neighborhood. Randall Cunningham, the Black God. It was like, oh man, because we didn't see that many quarterbacks of color at the time. And
Randall Cunningham probably should have won the Super Bowl that Elway won against Atlanta. Yeah, or at least he should have been in the Super Bowl against Elway.
Yeah, I see where you're going, but that they kind of have the same characteristics, the way they look, the way they run, the way they throw, at least in my mind, from what I remember Randall looking like.
And one more thing, just on that, and then we'll get back to the 49ers. This really bugs me when anybody compares a quarterback to another quarterback. And if it's a white quarterback, they always compare him to another white quarterback. And sometimes it's like, no.
Not there?
Yeah. Like was it Byron Leftwich? I mean, yes, he was African-American, but he couldn't run at all.
Nah, he was more a pocket passer.
Yes.
Yeah, he looked more Mark Rippon than
so sometimes it's okay to say, yeah, this quarterback was white, reminds me of this quarterback who happened to be African-American.
Right, yeah.
It's like an unconscious almost racism, and I don't mean to say it like people are doing anything. They don't mean to do any harm, but we don't always have to compare black quarterbacks to black quarterbacks.
No,
right?
we don't.
That's all I'm saying.
I'm with you. I'm definitely with you. Byron Leftwich was not Donovan McNabb. He was, like I said, he was more Rob Johnson than anything.
Well, even Donovan McNabb was kind of a back there.
For sure. Yeah, he was definitely more in the pocket. One thing about Donovan is he knew how to control spaces. He worked well within spaces. He was you're there, I'll take 2 steps to the left and I'll dump it. And so a lot of people looked at him as kind of elusive more than athletic and could scramble, at least for me. But yeah, definitely. Like Byron Leftwich doesn't look like Mike Vick.
Right.
Yeah, he's not there. Yeah, no.
Even though they're both African-American. Thank you. That's all I'm saying. And,
you're right.
Maybe I make too much of it, but sometimes it's like, come on.
Stand on it, Whitey.
We're better than that. Because we don't even know we do it sometimes. In my opinion, people don't even know they do it. I don't mean to accuse.
Do it.
If you've done that, it's fine. I don't mean to accuse anybody of anything, but I just think sometimes it's okay to compare a white quarterback to a black quarterback.
It is, sir.
Yeah. 3 potential trouble spots on the 49ers roster. What do you think, Jay? What's your opinion? I'll just go over what Tafer and Barrows had to say, but the positions, not necessarily individuals, but units. They have, of course, number 1 wide receiver, although that's looking like it's coming around. Offensive tackle, although they report that the 49ers have quiet confidence in their offensive line, if you can believe that. The 49ers are confident in their offensive line, Jay.
Yeah, they should be.
Scheme arrogance again?
Scheme arrogance.
Mm-hmm.
Player personnel arrogance.
Yeah. And then thirdly, they say the wide receiver spot has received plenty of well-deserved attention in recent weeks. Cornerback doesn't have the depth it had last season when the team opened with Charvarius Ward, Lenore, Renardo Green, and Isaac Yadam and Rock Yassin. This year, the group is Lenore Green, Upton Stout, Chase Lucas, and Daryl Luter Jr. Lucas is the obvious backup to Stout at nickel. He started getting practice snaps on the outside only 2 weeks ago. Luter, meanwhile, has logged only 67 defensive snaps, roughly 1 game's worth over the last 2 seasons, which is to say, in conclusion, the 49ers have plenty of options at nickel, but they are vulnerable at outside corner, which is a very important position in today's pass-happy NFL.
You better believe it. You better believe it. And Renardo Green has been banged up all throughout the preseason. So we're crossing our fingers for good health.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1 was offensive tackle.
In no particular order.
Oh, okay.
They named wide receiver, of course, offensive tackle, and cornerback.
Yeah, I think they're about right. I truly think they're right.
Yeah. Because they pointed out if one of your tackles were to go down, heaven forbid.
Burford's jumping on in there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The 49ers have a lot of top-end talent, and then they have a lot of unproven talent.
Mm-hmm.
But when you really sit down and look at second string, third string, they're 100% right. Who wrote that article?
This was Tafer and Barrows
teaming
up.
Athletic.
Combining their notes, which is a pretty, all kidding aside, formidable team.
Yo, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Top flight.
Yeah.
Put them in a 2-on-2 and see how they pan out.
Matt Barrows, you can hear him on the Carmichael Dave show. I roll my eyes because I wish we had Matt Barrows. Used to have Matt Barrows years ago, but it's a really good
full seniority rank here, champ.
If I have to, I may have
to. But I mean, put the call in because technically, as long as he's been with Dave and them in the morning, which is easily about 5, 6, 7 years at this point, you had him prior.
I know.
When Dave was at night.
Yeah.
So you can pull rank. Just let me know. I'll put the call in for you.
All right. Okay.
The corner is definitely slim and trim. Definitely slim and trim. The other position as far as offensive tackle, if Trent Williams, and I've said this before, Trent Williams is going to miss 3-4 games. Spencer Burford is going to play for the San Francisco 49ers. That's a guard kicking back out to tackle, which he played in college. And a lot of people have been down on Burford's preseason play at left tackle.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Trent Williams hasn't taken a snap. But Colton McKivitz, as much as Kyle Shanahan is all of a sudden in love with Colton McKivitz, Whitey, let's not forget last year, a lot of people were down on Colton McKivitz. Now, according to Tafer, the Barrows of the world, Colton McKivitz has come in this year and looked very, very good. He looks renewed, as they would like to say. So it hasn't really been, something that they've pinpointed this year because it seems like Colton has kind of come in and did some different things and playing at a higher level than he was last year. But man, that offensive tackle situation is thin.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about supermodel thin.
Yes.
And the same thing with the corner situation. It is supermodel thin. You really look at Renardo Green, who's really unproven. He's really, really unproven. This is his second year, and again, he's been banged up. He looked decent at the end. Maybe some people would say looked good at the end of the season when he got a few snaps. But, man, Diamador Lenore, I don't think anybody going to test him. Renardo Green, it's time for you to step on up.
Yeah, like you said, the 49ers have that drop-off from their highly paid players to everybody else. But, in today's NFL, if you have a lot of highly paid players, especially if you have a quarterback now, and Brock Purdy will become that, that's kind of the way you got to build your roster.
Yes.
And you got to hope you draft well and hope the youngsters come through as they have for Buffalo, as they have for the Rams. This is an unfortunate note, but as we get ready for the start of the football season, remember after ESPN acquired NFL Network, Roger Goodell said, quote, "Red Zone will actually stay the same. I don't think fans will see any difference to that." Today, Scott Hansen, host of Red Zone, he was on with McAfee, and Scott Hansen confirmed NFL Red Zone something that he has no control over. But NFL Red Zone will have, in some capacity this season, commercials, Jay.
Yeah, they lost me already. They've lost me
It's
already.
not NFL Red Zone if you put commercials on it.
I'm with you.
I don't know what it is, but it's not NFL Red Zone.
Yeah, it's what's the 35 to the 25? We're in that zone.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
I'm with you. They're making
It's
it
the
harder.
landing area like they have now for the kickoffs.
Yes.
NFL Red Zone should be NFL landing area.
They're making it harder. They definitely are making it harder to stick with the red zone. I actually like the red zone. I'm more of a red zone guy than watch every single game until, at the end of the night, you go back, you watch games after. But yeah, it's, for all in NFL fans, boy, you have some room to complain. You truly do.
So ESPN looks like they're going to ruin inside the NBA, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Now it looks like they're also going to ruin red zone. I mean, ruin it. Just render it unrecognizable and take away, in the case of both those sports programs, take away the very essence that made them special, that made them worth watching. ESPN is like, we will just remove that portion of it. There you go. No difference. Well, you took out the best part.
I know. Wall-to-wall, 7-hour football.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting, too? And I know Scott Hansen can't do it, and we've had this conversation when it comes to the A's. Couldn't Scott Hansen just come out and be like, NFL, you're killing me. ESPN, well, not NFL, but ESPN, you're killing me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you guys are becoming a detriment to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Scott Hansen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm NFL Red Zone guy.
Right.
You're making me look bad here, ESPN.
Yeah.
Like, can't you? And I'm pretty sure behind closed doors, he's probably pissed about it. But couldn't you just come out and tongue-in-cheek play around with it? If there's any show, do it on the Pat McAfee show.
You know what I would do, Jay? And I'm sure they couldn't make as much money doing this, but I would work on it. Product placement. We do see Scott Hansen sitting there sometimes, right?
Yes, sir.
No commercials, but just have it plastered with ads for whatever. And he's drinking Coke and he's got T-shirts on and a hat, whatever, like a NASCAR driver. As long as there's no commercials, right?
True.
I can live with that.
Because people will then know, look, you're keeping me away from commercials, but you're making your money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
A lot of times, companies do themselves a disservice, right? In the form of sometimes they don't come to the table and be completely honest. If you're completely honest and you're open, I think a lot of fans and ongoers and supporters and advertisers and everybody else will come in with a different outlook in the form of, okay, I get it. You still need to make your money.
Yeah.
Cool. No problem.
Mm-hmm.
But when you go about the way ESPN is handling, like with NBA Inside, Inside, what's the name of the show? Inside the NBA. There we go. And then we're talking about the red zone. When you have those type of platforms and you're messing with them, like you said, you're taking the essence, and now you're putting it in under the microscope where fans are going to say, "Oh no, I don't like it like this."
And while you're doing that, oh no, we're not making any changes. Everything's going to be fine. It's fine. It's just the same. See, it's just the same as it was. I mean, we're not stupid. Well, we're not that stupid. Because we're sitting there watching Red Zone all day. All right. I don't know how many Rhodes Scholars are doing that.
You still watching? They still
I'll
got
probably
you.
give it a try.
They still got you. Come on, I can see it through that.
Depends how long the commercial breaks are, too, though.
Yeah.
You know?
You know what's a big thing right now? I'm a huge college football fan. The college football commercial stance. Like, it is being, people are, I don't know if you've seen it. I don't know if you're following yet.
I have.
Like, social network, people are attacking it.
Yeah.
The timeout,
Mm-hmm.
how long the commercials are.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people are throwing flame to the fire right now when it comes to college football commercials and the length of how long they are.
Mm-hmm. When we come back, as we've told you, we got Thunder Showdown 3 coming this weekend to Thunder Valley, and featherweight Kyle Lanal is going to be fighting. He's fighting in the co-main event, and he's going to join us next. It's a Drive, guys, on Sacktown Sports.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Mom, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotion. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. Consequently, they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Dial pound 250 and say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk, everything you need and nothing you don't.
Alan Stiles here with your Sacktown Sports Injury Update, brought to you by DTLA Law Group. Joey Estes, out with that herniated disc in his lower back, felt that back tightness after his last outing. The team will take a few days to evaluate his options for recovery. His expected return is TBD. Jacob Lopez, out with that grade 1 flexor strain. MRI results revealed a grade 1 strain, and manager Mark Kotze said he's hopeful he could return in a limited role before the end of the season. That was your Sacktown Sports Injury Update, brought to you by DTLA Law Group. Hey, I'm Alan Stiles. Injured at work? Call downtown. DTLA Law Group, California's leading injury law firm. With over 40 lawyers throughout California, they have won over $500 million in settlements. DTLA Law Group will get you compensation for your work injury. You don't pay unless they win. That's right. You pay zero up front. Call downtown. Text injury help to 40222. That's injury help to 40222. Visit them at calldowntown.com. Text charges may apply.
Just announced, Stockton Honda has been named #1 of California's best car dealers in 2025 by USA Today and Statista. This prestigious award is based on thousands of customer reviews and recommendations, ranking dealerships for service, value, and satisfaction. Out of hundreds evaluated, Stockton Honda is proud to be #1, recognized for all-around excellence and commitment to our customers. Visit Stockton Honda, where reputation meets the road.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Locash, Vincent Mason, and Averyana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with RVs of Sacramento and the Sled Museum of Science and Curiosity. Tickets at CITPFest.com.
At Valley Strong Credit Union, we know that local businesses are the backbone of the Central Valley, investing in our neighborhoods, boosting the economy, making the Valley stronger. But when it comes to their finances, where can they turn? A big bank that just sees another number? That's not good enough. Valley businesses deserve Valley support for payroll, credit, cash flow, and everything in between. Valley Business is Valley Strong. Learn how our cash management services can support your business at valleystrong.com.
Your afternoon home for Kings Talk and so much more. The Tribe Guys on Sacktown Sports.
High voltage live boxing action returning to the venue on September 6th this Saturday. Uppercut Promotions presents 6 big fights featuring many undefeated and local fighters. Thunder Showdown 3 happening on September 6th at the venue at Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Nice enough to join us. He's part of the co-main event, taking on Philip Ramirez this Saturday. Philip Ramirez, Jay. Boo!
Man, who's that?
He's a bum.
Yeah, we ain't never heard of that cat.
Undefeated featherweight joining us now, Kyle Lanal. Kyle, thank you so much for your time. If I may, first thing I want to ask you, because my wife is part Filipino, and I know your nickname is Masanting, but that is not Tagalog, is it, Kyle?
It's Kapampangan. My dad is Kapampangan, and he gave me that nickname. It's like handsome or nice.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
And you live up to that, right? He's right. You fit the nickname, right?
Yep, I'm trying to. My skills in the ring, and I'm trying to just go out there and show out every time.
Mm-hmm.
No, Kyle, as speaking of your culture, your heritage, you are in a long line of fantastic Filipino boxers. Does that mean anything to you? Do you take that into the ring with you? Because, of course, you're very proud.
Oh, most definitely. Every time I step in the ring, I want to represent the people behind me and my heritage, my story, and how my parents got here to give me the opportunity to grow up in the States. So, I take great pride in being Filipino, and growing up watching fighters like Manny Pacquiao and Nonito Donaire really put on for the country and represent at that world stage is one of the reasons why I box to this day. So, I take a lot of pride in being Filipino and representing the best that I can.
Kyle Lanal with this undefeated featherweight taking on some tomato can named Philip Ramirez this Saturday at Thunder Valley in the co-main event. I don't know if this one's going to last long, Jay. Kyle, you're a young man. Yeah, we worry about your studies, and I know you got your career. How's the school going? You're going to, this is Cal State East Bay. Is that where you're currently matriculating?
Yes, I go to Cal State East Bay. I did 2 years at JUCO, and this is my senior year. I should be graduating in the spring with my bachelor's in kinesiology.
Oh, wow. Nice. Pre-kinesiology, yes. Man. I started to go down that route, and I was like, I'm going to go ahead and change that up. Yeah, so shouts out to you, Kyle, for doing that. Man, does your studies, because if people, well, I should say for people who don't know, when you are a professional boxer like yourself, 4-0, heading to be 5-0, there's a lot of time that you have to dedicate to not only, working out, working on your craft, nutrition is major, but to put influx the studies on top of that. How do you stay on top of your studies, man, and your craft?
Definitely, it's hard to balance that sometimes. Hitting double days in the gym and going to school, it's almost like having 2 full-time jobs and trying to balance family on top of that. But I have a great support system around me. My family helps me stay balanced and keep everything lined up. My faith keeps me strong throughout the whole time. So I try to manage it best I can, and just stick to the path.
Mm-hmm. That's Kyle Lanal, undefeated featherweight. He's fighting Saturday, Thunder Valley, co-main event, Thunder 3.
Yes, sir.
I wanted to ask you, Kyle, if I'm not mistaken, your first pro fight was almost a year ago exactly. I think it was late August. What would you say is the most important thing you've learned in the first year of being a professional boxer about your craft?
I would say to settle in. The first couple fights, I was moving really quickly, but as I moved along, I've learned to settle in and really take my time in the ring and been able to display my skill as I go out there.
So are you saying, and I could see this if you are, it's so exciting when you started, you kind of get the adrenaline going and you get amped and you're almost going too fast for your own good? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. Yeah. I feel like I've grown over the last year tremendously. My skills have gotten better, but just seeing things and being able to settle in allows me to place the shots that I want to at the right times.
Kyle, it's interesting, man. I'm a huge fan of the sweet science, and I had an opportunity when I talked to one of the promoters, and he had mentioned your name of coming on. I was like, oh man, I saw him fighting. I believe it was for the Silver Gloves in American Canyon, if I'm not mistaken. But I think I'm 100% right on that, Kyle. Did you fight at American Canyon?
Yes, I have. I fought in the Silver Gloves, all the local tournaments when I was younger, but I've definitely fought there.
Yeah, I thought so. With that being said, you don't really have a lot of on paper black and white amateur experience. Is that something that, you look back as, well, maybe I should have fought a little bit more? Has it not been recorded as much? Maybe you do have a lot of amateur background that we just haven't been able to be, we haven't been able to see? Or is it something where you're like, you know what, I feel like I could turn pro and I'm ready to go despite my amateur background?
I think some of my amateur experience has been shown on the internet, but I fought since I was 8 years old in the amateurs. I fought at the national level. I've been ranked amongst the highest amateurs in the country. My goal was to make it to the trials in 2022, which I wasn't able to make. And then we turned it into making my pro debut in August of last year. But I think the amateurs really prepared me for my professional journey. I was able to see a lot of different styles, and it's helped me be able to make those adjustments and know that I can compete with those top guys.
Thunder Showdown 3 is at Thunder Valley this weekend, and our guest Kyle Lanal will be participating. He'll be fighting in the co-main event. How does it feel, Kyle, to return to Thunder Valley where you've already had some success?
Yes, sir.
I'm excited. My 4th fight was at Thunder Valley. So coming back here, I know everybody in the crowd had a good time at the venue. So I'm really excited to come out and put on a dominant performance for the crowd that comes out this time.
A lot of family out there for you, you think? They
were thick out there for Kyle.
You're a San Ramon guy, right?
Most definitely a lot of families coming up there. Northern California is going to come out and support at Thunder Valley. So I'm ready to put on a show and bring some excitement for everybody that's there.
Hey, Kyle, you've had an opportunity to fight in Oakland, Stockton, of course, Lincoln. This will be your 2nd time. And then you stepped away and went to Tijuana. What was that experience like compared to fighting, closer to the home, Northern California, as I had the opportunity to come see you in March as well? Man, you had a lot of family and friends out there. What was that experience like?
Going down to Tijuana to get a fight was interesting. I had a fight out there with a guy who had a little more experience than me, but I was able to handle business and show my skills. It's a lot different being out there than up here, the way they run things, but I think that's good for me and being able to roll with the punches and just the different things that they throw at you.
Hey, Kyle, would you mind sharing with us, what was it? You said you've been boxing, I think you said since you're 8. What was it that made you want to become a boxer in the first place?
I was just a energetic kid. I tried playing all the sports when I was younger. I played basketball, soccer, football, all of those things, and then I had energy still going. So they were like, man, you need to go ahead and do something. And, I started boxing at 6, and then I started developing, getting better. And then by the time I was 8, that's when they were like, you have a shot at this. Let's try and compete. And since my first fight, I fell in love with it.
Joined by Kyle Lanal, undefeated prospect that's fighting on the Thunder Showdown Part 3, his 2nd time at Thunder Valley. Kyle, man, one of the things that, of course, I said being a fan of the squared circle, and I know you are obviously being a part of it, is the ring entrances. Nowadays you see the big pay-per-views. Guys are led by music artists, and you got, family and friends and so much pageantry, the entourage. What's on deck for you? What you're wearing, man? What's the colors you're representing this weekend? Can you tell us?
Oh no, I can't let that out yet. You're gonna have to be there on fight night to see what I got planned, but we're coming out with something clean.
All right, Kyle. We appreciate your time very, very much. Best of luck, and we hope to be talking to you about another victory very, very soon, Kyle. Thank you for your time. Good luck this weekend.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely. Kyle Lanal. Masanting is his nickname.
I like that. Handsome. I see you like
good looking.
Good work right there.
Yeah. We will come back with a look at what Mark Cuban thought of Pablo Tori's investigative efforts today. Mark Cuban didn't care for it. We'll look at that when we wrap things up and come back next on Sacktown Sports.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-838-6767. That's 800-838-6767.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the final days of Sleep Number's biggest sale of the year. All beds on sale. Up to 50% off the limited edition smart bed. Ends Monday. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your boat, boat wins.
What are you going to do? Take the boat out for a spin or go mail something? Boat wins! Are we cleaning the patio or taking the boat out fishing? Boat wins! Are we skipping that eye exam to go sailing? Boat wins!
Rescheduling eye exams can be a nightmare.
All right, fine. Eye exam, then boat. Yeah!
With Progressive, you can bundle your boat with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings on your boat. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states and situations.
Carmichael Dave here for my friends at American Energy Heating and Air. Yes, I always tell you they are a family-owned operation, been in business since 81, A-plus Better Business Bureau, but it is hot. We are in those Sacramento hot months. I want to focus on them being your second opinion partner. What does that mean? Maybe you've got somebody you're working with or you've worked with in the past in the HVAC world. Guess what? They want to give you a second opinion. How much does it cost? Nothing. You call them up and say, hey, can I get a second opinion on this deal? They come out and they either say, wow, that's a great deal. You should feel better about that. Or they say, we can beat that price. And usually they're going to beat it by a lot. Guess what? You just saved money and it didn't cost you anything to find out. It's a no-lose situation. Go with a trusted company. American Energy, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Jingle Singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Locash, Vincent Mason, and Averyana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with RVs of Sacramento and the Sled Museum of Science and Curiosity. Tickets at CITPFest.com.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Mark Cuban has responded to the Pablo Tori report that the Clippers circumvented the cap by giving Kawhi Leonard $28 million to do nothing. Interesting response, and Pablo Tori responded to Cuban's response, and we'll get to all that in just a second. First, I want to acknowledge some of the people that checked in here via the text line, 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. And really appreciate all the people. If you're one of the people, whether you are or not, appreciate everybody on the in the YouTube chat, in the chateau, and with the text. We don't have time to read all of them on the air, but we read them all and appreciate all of them. Stephen Riolinda, Jay, says, awesome stuff with the boxing coverage the past 2 days, but you are always awesome. Thanks, Steve. I don't know as much about boxing as Jay, but I know Thunder Valley always does a great job, and it's a really cool. The boxing community within our community is really special.
Yeah, venue is fantastic.
Yeah.
This will be the third time I've had the opportunity to go to the first and the second. I love the way it sits in the I can't think of the name of the venue that they use at Thunder Valley, the name of their arena. I apologize on that. But the way they sit the ring.
The venue.
The
right?
venue. It's called the venue. There you go. Yeah. It sits down kind of like in the orchestra pit, so to say, and the fighters come down off the stage and walk down the stairs and then back up to the ring. And so I really like it. If you've ever had an opportunity to go to a more localized, smaller event boxing, it definitely has that feel. But there is a feel to it where they got a DJ moving and grooving. They got the screens up on each side. And it's like, oh, man, this has a a nice feel to it.
And
so if you have an opportunity,
just
try it.
my exposure to it, just really good people involved in it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Blake McKernan, who's been, a cruiserweight around here. Well, he is. He's fought on, I know the first one, I believe the second one as well. He's headlined both right now. He's his time is being taken up on a different endeavor when it comes to boxing. But no, there's some, Sergio Gonzalez, who is a local guy. He's undefeated, a prospect. He'll be out that way. So we have some nice flavor here in Northern California when it comes to boxing.
From the 209, isn't Red Zone, getting back to NFL Red Zone, isn't Red Zone going to require a subscription plan also? They are trying to get all that money back that they paid for it. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I'm afraid the answer may be yes.
I thought it had something to do with the package of
how you're getting access to all of it, maybe?
Yeah.
I'll look into that. Thank you, 209. From the 916, ESPN is becoming a detriment to sports as a whole, ruining Red Zone inside the NBA, promoting hot take shows, even ignoring true journalism like Pablo Tori's NFL union scandals. Yeah, some of the stuff Pablo's doing, ESPN don't want any part of that.
Great work, too.
Who their partners are.
Great work.
209, Scott Hansen finally gets to use the bathroom now, so he's probably fine with it. We got a number of comments along those lines. And Jay Ramsey says, Randall Cunningham and his 91-yard punt.
Ooh.
Yeah.
He wasn't the first. He wasn't the last. But in my era, he was one of those guys, a quarterback of color who was a starter, who was a top-line NFL quarterback. He was definitely looked at as, and I always refer to him that because it was introduced to me that way, and it doesn't, I'm not questioning, I'm not trying to input as if, questioning a person's faith to the higher power, but he was called the Black God in my neighborhood. People call Randall Cunningham the Black God because there weren't many people who looked like him at the time who played quarterback and also was good. He was good.
Yeah, absolutely. This is from Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban's response to the Pablo Tori story. Real quick, if anybody who doesn't know, Pablo Tori reporting that the Clippers and Steve Balmer paid Kawhi Leonard $28 million, kind of a no-show job, just as a way of circumventing the cap. Here's what Mark Cuban said on X. I'm on Team Balmer. As much as I wish they circumvented the salary cap, first, Steve isn't that dumb. If he did try to feed KL money, knowing what was at stake for him personally and his team, do you think he would let the company go bankrupt, knowing all creditors would be visible to the world? They got scammed by Aspiration, says Mark Cuban. That's the tree company?
Yeah.
Along with many others, crimes for which they pleaded guilty last week. Scammers do scammy things. They did a $300 million sponsorship deal with the Clippers in 2021. That's a huge deal. The better the team does, the more value the sponsorship has. It actually makes perfect sense that if they stole money from investors and want the Clippers to succeed, why not give stolen money to help keep their best player? It's sad that Pablo Tori didn't take the time to find out how these scammers pulled off their scam. The idea that the default is Balmer is the bad guy is going to backfire on Pablo Tori. That's Mark Cuban. Pablo Tori says, hey, dear Mark Cuban, care to come on? Pablo finds out to discuss my reporting. I have some questions I'd love to ask you. Thanks. Pablo Tori.
Well, Pablo Tori sharpened the fact that, hey, you want to talk? Come on my platform.
Yeah.
There's a lot to unpack in that short paragraph. The first two initial things that pop into my mind is this. Mark Cuban has been around the league. He's been an owner. He is something of a minority owner, I believe, at the moment.
Oh, that's right. He is still kind of involved.
Yeah, he's involved some kind of way. Yeah. And to me, that means he's got some type of percentage with the squad. And I could be saying that wrong. But he's got take into it, right? He's got intake. He, more than anybody, would definitely know sponsorship, advertising, how the game is operated and how they operate, going about who gets paid and when and where. The other part that pops out to me is he's definitely taken up for, I would imagine, his buddy, his friend, or someone he looks in the mirror and says, that's kind of me too, which is Steve Balmer. I think if I'm reading it right, he is saying, even if there is something wrong, it's not on Steve Ballmer. It's on the whole ordeal. Because as of last week, this company just went bankrupt and they've been finessing money. So it sounds like, I don't want to say he's protecting, but he's coming to the aid of Steve Ballmer. And I also think he's coming to the aid of the greater good of the NBA and saying things like this happens. It just so happened to be a part of a sponsorship deal for the league.
Yeah.
Or the Clippers.
UPS Chris on the text line says, Mark Cuban almost killed Alan Stiles with his comments today. Did you hear that? I think Alan was reading it and he started choking on an almond.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Yeah.
Well, and then Mark Cuban. So thank you for that reminder, UPS Chris. It's one of the things that stands out to me about what Mark Cuban wrote there. And I have no idea, for all I know, it's 100% accurate. But if I knew that something, let's say somebody, heaven forbid, that 916 or whoever it is, Jay, if they said some things about you that I knew were not true, I wouldn't couch it that way. I'd say this is all false. This is not actually true. And that's not really what Mark Cuban did. He almost over-explained it to me, but I don't know what happened. You know what I mean? Like you said, it sounds like he's acknowledging, okay, something was wrong here. Yeah, but you can't blame it all on Steve Ballmer. Rather than saying, nah, nothing to see here, we're good. It's like, it's not all Ballmer's fault. That's kind of what he's saying, I think.
Right. And that's what I said. It sounds like, and to be expected, I would imagine, because he's been out in the forefront when it comes to representation for the league and the greater good of what the NBA is doing and what they've done and how they're moving forward, the future. And so that's the very first thing that popped out is he's got his boys back, if that's his boy. And then he's got the leagues back, because he's been part of the league for a long time. And then the second part of it is I think he's not flexing his muscles, but he's also using his experience and his knowledge and saying these things happen. Business like this occurs. And it's I'm throwing my hands in the air because it's part of the league. I'm throwing my hands in the air because it's part of business, but I'm also going to come down and say, hey, you know what? Just because it involves the NBA and just because it involves the Clippers doesn't mean it's not on the up and up. And so I don't, beyond that, I don't really know what Mark Cuban is trying to accomplish just for the fact of what you said, because you could just come out and say, hey, like I always tell people, if you ain't got nothing to do it, wasn't there, I don't know, talk to my lawyer.
Exactly. Yeah.
What else we need to talk about? Right? Because now you can't legally ask me any more questions. And second of all, I ain't told you nothing. Wasn't me, wasn't there. I ain't had nothing to do with it. Talk to my lawyer. What else we gonna talk about today?
Yeah.
Right? It's over. Seconds. That's what I would think Cuban would say. Wasn't Steve Ballmer? The league didn't do anything wrong. Go talk to the aspirations and let's talk about something else.
He said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of talking to get nothing done.
So we'll see where this goes. Unfortunate for the league, but then on the other hand, if you're going to have these rules and you're telling us how transparent you are as a league, then you should at least stick to your own rules. I wouldn't mind seeing somebody stick it to the Clippers.
Oh, here we go.
The Knicks, right? All the teams, if they've been in violation of these league rules, landing free agents while we're sitting here in Sacramento having a hard time getting people to even take our calls. Yeah. Void all the contracts. People want free agency, right?
Fantasy free agency?
Right? Oh, free agency. There's no free agency. Well, we can have big time major free agency. We'll void that deal. Brunson's a free agent. Kawhi Leonard's a free agent. Who else do we need to make a free agent? Boom! Right before the season starts.
Somebody in the 916 said, check the Lakers files too.
Yes. LeBron, free agent. Everybody.
Luka.
80% of the league, free agent. You want free agency fun? We may get it. Yeah. Thanks for being with us. We're back with you tomorrow. We also have football for you tomorrow. And right now we have golf to go for you. Thank you, Jay. Thank you for being with us. Stick around. Golf to go next. Sacktown Sports.
The Alan Stiles Show.
The Athletics take